Hey, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. I'm Taryn, your host of Paranormal Brew. I'm very excited for this evening. I have a very special guest that I have been literally, um, like, it's really bad, but I've literally been trying to get him to come on for, oh my gosh, I don't even know how long, a couple of years now. So I'm excited. I finally was like, Adam, when are you coming on? And he said, okay, I can do this date. And I wouldn't have cared what was on my schedule. I would have cleared it because he's been somebody I've been wanting to have on for such a long time. So I'm really looking forward towards this. In case you live under a rock, you don't know who Adam Kimmell is, you are about to. This is like probably going to be one of my most energetic and fun shows that I've had in a really long time. I'm excited. I'm excited to bring him on. So without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Adam. Ta-da!
Yes! That was such a strong open. Let's go! Yes.
Thank you so much.
Everything you said was true. This has been in the making for I don't know how many years. And trust me, I was excited. Taryn, I know you and I vibe. I see your stuff on Facebook. I'm like, dude, we are on the same wavelength.
Yes.
This is going to be a good one.
This is going to be a good show. Yep. And there's no, listen, there's no holds barred here. Like you say whatever we.
Oh shit! That's what I need to hear. I always say before I get on shows, I'm like, I don't know how south we can go. I always keep it. Obviously, I know my limitations because when I do TikTok, I usually get suspended after an hour. So I know where the limitations are. So it's going to be good. We can touch all subjects. It's anything goes, man. And the paranormal is so wild as it is.
It is.
You can really go anywhere with it. So
that's so true. That's so true. And it's so nice to have, somebody on that you can just talk the paranormal with and because there's so much drama going on. And I'm like, let's just take a deep breath and let's just talk paranormal, and I'm looking forward to that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So there's a couple people saying hi. I'm just going to put it up. Unturned Pages podcast. Hello, Kristen Mary. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Kristen.
Yeah. We have.
Oh, I can't see comments. Okay, I can see comments. I think I'm mirroring it.
Okay. Stephanie Florio. Hello, Florio.
Hey, Stephanie.
There's some of my peaches are in here. Megan. Unturned Pages says Adam's the best.
I believe. Yes, that's Jenny Davis. She's under her Christian name.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Jenny. I know. I was just giving you.
And congratulations. She won at the Gettysburg Bash. She won.
Can you believe that?
No, I can believe that.
Actually, I can because I was part of our auction, and every year Jenny is one of our biggest contributors to our auction, to the Peaches auction. She, literally, we raised last year. We raised $5,500. This year we raised $6,800, and we give
probably for Jenny's attendance. Yeah,
we give her a lot.
Someone was like, I think it was like FC Icon a year back. And I heard someone like, oh, she just won everything. I'm like, dude, if you would have watched her, she was poaching everything there, putting money in, the amount of money she put down. I'm not surprised she won. She came back with a lot. So, and that's how we save the buildings, dude. Jenny is amazing. And actually, she's from Minnesota. So
Yeah.
it's like, I always forget, you meet so many cool people, but it's always so far away, you know, like,
Justin, I think she funded the whole thing.
yeah, pretty much. She wanted the next crew to come. So, and she actually sent me a message. We were out filming, and she's like, sent me a picture with Jeff. She's like, look what I want. I'm like, I'm not surprised, dude.
It's so crazy. It's so
Yeah,
crazy. Parker City Paranormal Society is saying hi, Kimmel
that's
Cakes.
Jolie. So Julie Geringer. The many friends, dude. This just goes to show the amount of people you meet in the paranormal. We did talk about a lot of drama, but the one great thing I have been blessed with is how many great people I've met. I think good vibes attract good vibes, and then you
Yeah.
have like, you know, I don't know. I guess it's people's vibes that they attract.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of disgusting people in the game. But if you look at the circle that follows them, it doesn't. It's like, what's that saying? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Did I
Absolutely.
get it right? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you get caught up in a moment, and then you
Oh,
realize
100%.
and then you realize you don't vibe with that type of person, and then you got to pull
Yeah.
back from it. You know what I mean? And go find your circle. I found a circle. I have two circles. I have my two circles of people that I'm just like, these are my people. And the
Yeah.
are one, and then I have like Kristen and Vic, and all these people in this other, and they're my people. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm comfortable in that. Look, it's quantity, not quality. I mean, it's quality, not quantity.
But yes, no, you're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah. So let's learn about Adam for a little bit.
Let's dive in.
Like how did you get into the paranormal? Have you always been in the paranormal, or was it like did the properties get you into the paranormal? Like how did you start in this whole field?
So never was into the paranormal to start. Never was haunted as a child. Maybe read a few ghost stories, wrote it off as like fiction. It wasn't until like I went to college for 5 years at Sybrand University, and 5 doesn't sound prestigious. I just wanted to stay longer and party. So I could have been done in 4. Loved the Greek scene. The Greek community was a lot of fun, a lot of parties. But as you're getting through college, like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And I was there for politics, international security, and counterterrorism with an internship lined up to Washington, D.C. It sounds great, like to somebody that'd be like, oh my God, what a dream job. No, I didn't want to go on an internship and be a coffee boy for someone in Congress. That's all an internship is.
Right,
and then they hope that you get like, whatever, you get connections doing that stuff. Anyway, it was during my 5th year of college that, I started watching some of the paranormal shows, and because they were like, Ghost Adventures was big, Paranormal State was big. Never really watched much of Ghost Hunters, but like I watched that stuff, and I remember the first time I saw it was Ryan Buell with his intro for Paranormal State, and I think it was in 2003. But like 2003 is when I remember seeing it, and I didn't really get into it until a few years later. But I remember watching his intro, and if anyone hasn't watched the original Paranormal State intro, imagine knowing nothing about the paranormal, like nothing about ghost hunting, nothing about anything. And I was like flicking through channels, and I just caught a moment of it, and then the intro started, and he's like, "My name is Ryan Buell, and I have a college team of people, and we investigate during the weekend, and we're students of them." Like, what did I just watch? I remember like watching the commercial or the preview, my jaw dropped. I'm like, he does what? And of course, I got sucked into watching, and I was like, well, this is actually really interesting. I can't believe people do this stuff. So, but college is peaking. I'm still doing my college life, all that. By my 5th year, I find myself watching a few Ghost Adventures episodes, and I'm just like talking mad shit. I was like, this stuff's fake. It's entertaining, don't get me wrong, but it's got to be fake.
Yeah.
And so I eventually would find myself out at a cemetery with a digital voice recorder by myself. Because I'm like, the thing about the paranormal, which I'll get into, is like how you can't push a skeptic to be a believer without them figuring it out themselves. They have to want to be there. You can't push a skeptic into the game and be like, you're going to believe tonight. You have to experience yourself. So here I am. It's like 2009. I'm at this old cemetery by my parents' house in Grove City, Pennsylvania. And I just, regular Olympus gold recorder, right? Nothing special. I put it on this tombstone, and I'm just like out there, chicken shit shaking, because I'm like, what has my life become? What are you doing with your life, Adam? And so, because we've all contemplated that one time or another, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And I asked 3 questions. I can't remember what the first 2 questions were, but the third question was, if there's anything you'd like me to tell your loved ones, what would that be? And It's quiet out there. There's no like wind. There's no crickets. It's perfect silence. And then I take it back. The recording on that had captured. It had said after that, if there's anything you let me tell your loved ones, what would it be? And you hear, help me. Clear Class A, classic. But I was like to myself, like, I know I was there. It wasn't like someone could have contaminated this whisper in the recorder. So I am a nerd, like a huge nerd. Right. So of course I fixate on this. I've always loved the sciences and stuff. I'm like, what? For the next week, and the next week, I'm just thinking about this and thinking about this. And that's when I decided to drop out of college. Actually, this would be about 2008. I drop out of college. After that, I go to my advisor, and instead of going to that internship, I was like, hey, I'm going to ghost hunt. So I was like signing all my classes, and he's laughing at me. Professor Daniels of the political science department. And he's like, Adam, well, you have an internship lined up. I'm like, yeah, I want to hunt ghosts. So he thought it was a joke the whole time. And then finally I was like, no, seriously. I think this is really important research. Yeah. I don't, politics are cool, but I really don't even like politics as far as like big debates with people. Trust me, I got my sampling at Slipper Rock. It was not a good time. So I'm like, oh, that would be a larger scale doing that. But anyway, so I'm like, I drop out. I'm like, wow, that was a huge, what am I doing now? My parents thought I was crazy, but I've always been crazy. And I taught myself filmmaking. I started learning as much as I could. And then that's when I would form Resident Undead. I was just like, I always wanted to film this. Like, to me, I've always been a structured person. So I was like, I can't just show a few clips online and be like, oh, Ghost of the Cemetery. Like, I was like, I really want to do this adventure. And I would dub it the adventure of a lifetime, which we all do. This is really a cool adventure. Yeah. And it's all of our own paths. We all go to all these locations. They touch us in different ways. The things we understand from the locations, what we take back from the locations. And that's what was really special to me. And I'm like, I really want to document that. And I sucked at filmmaking. I still think I suck. I get people all the time like, your filmmaking is great. And I'm like, we're always the hardest critics to ourselves. Right. But never went to film school for any of this. And I emphasize this a lot to teams. I was like, if you're going to get into ghost hunting, you're probably going to have to learn filmmaking because they come as a pair. You'll start maybe as a hobby. And then after a while, you're like, man, but remember, the minute you pick up a camera, the game has changed. Right. Like, that is a whole different kind of investigation. Yeah. And that, oh God. So I would say I really started cranking it up in 2010. So I've been doing this, like filming it for probably about 16 years now. That's awesome. Yeah. And it's fun. And I wouldn't regret it. I tell people all the time, even with all the drama and the paranormal, like, I was an isolationist in the beginning. Like, I literally recruited people I knew. I didn't go to like public ghost hunts. Actually, the first public ghost hunt I ever went to was Hillview Manor. Nothing against Hillview Manor. They were running a public ghost hunt that night. It was actually the first thing I ever did. And I did meet someone there that was like-minded because he looks at me, he's like, dude, no one's taking this seriously. And I'm like, yeah, they were all like trying to scare each other. I'm like, is this what ghost hunting is? Like, this is dumb. I really want to try to catch something. So I met someone that way, but that was the first time and the last time. Not anything against him. It was just like, I found you get better chemistry if you bring in people you really know. Right. So, kind of did that. And from there, it was just every investigation, you learn how to film a little better. You're going to make mistakes. Don't worry about it. You come back and you're like, the next time I go out to film, I know I need to do this, this, and this. And it will become better as you go. And fast forward even more. My intention, maybe this is manifestation, but when I first got into this, I was filming with one of my fraternity brothers who was crazy, like myself. And he's like, dude, one day we could buy a property and we could also like buy a hotel. Now, this is manifesting, like, hotel doesn't make sense. Like, why we would buy hotels to house the paranormal teams. We weren't smart. When you hear it like out loud, you're like, you guys are pretty dumb. But it was like, I was looking out and I really manifested. I'm like, yeah, dude, one cool, like, it's everyone's dream, but I had nothing lined up. I was like, one day it'd be cool, because in my mind, it was this romanticized idea of like, you own this haunted building, you can go in there every day and you can speak to ghosts. Fast forward to the reality in 2016. Prior to that, I saved the Randolph County Infirmary. He's a piece of shit. I learned that you can only do business with yourself. I still tell people to go to Randolph. It's a very nice location, but I'm the one in 2015-ish negotiated from the commissioners, used my politics and saved that. But I would end up buying the Madison Seminary in 2016 through very awesome negotiating, pretty slick. And then in 2020, I would buy the the Fairfield County Infirnary located in Lancaster, Ohio. But let me get back to the romanticized of like, you're going to be able to ghost on all the day. People think I ghost on all the time. I'm more of a glorified maintenance worker because when you are saving these buildings, especially Madison Seminary and Fairfield, they are massive giants. And I see a lot of people message out to me and they're like, hey, I want to buy this property. And the first thing I get to is saying is forget the ghosts. Right now, forget the ghosts. You need to understand how to do contractor work, like, because these properties will require a lot of work. And if you go in just wanting to ghost hunt, like, for example, again, we're talking shit here. You have the Greenville Manor that was bought by Marcus and his dad. Mm-hmm. And it's a primary example. Like, Marcus came to me and he was like, I want to buy this. And he was just too excited. I'm like, do you want to buy it because you want to save history, or do you want to buy it because you want a haunted location? Because there's a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think what happened with Marcus is he got too involved in the whole idea of doing it. He was interrupting with teams. Like, when teams come, we have protocol, like give them a tour and then go. But when you investigate, and this is real talk, we go places like the owner won't leave or the tour guide won't leave and that gets in your way. Yeah. I understand that so much, and I get that. So I set the protocol for the properties of how I would want to be treated when I go to a location. That's why you get the red carpet treatment. We tell you what do you want? How do you want the tour done? Do you want a tour? No tour? Cool. And just let people get down to work, because how stressful it is when you're setting an investigation up, all the things you have to do. The most ideal thing would be hit the ground and get to work. Right. Be seen when you need to be seen, especially on our end. But yeah, there's a lot. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's a lot of work, a lot of headaches, a lot of stress.
So
of saving them,
well, that's what. Okay, so let's talk about Madison Seminary. That was the first one you bought.
Yes, under my own single ownership, correct.
Single ownership. Okay, so you went into that like I want to. So this property was going to be demolished, and you were like, "No way, I'm not having it, and I want to save it."
It was owned by a nursery that I didn't think they were taking care of it. I'd been there in 2010, 2014, and then on my birthday, my 32nd birthday, 2016, we were doing an investigation for Resident Undead. And I kept going around everybody. I was like, I'm going to buy this place. And they're like, dude, you're like a werewolf. Like, I don't know what came over me. I had no intention that day I showed up, but I was like, this place is beautiful. And I always fell in love with Madison. Madison was actually like the second place I ever investigated. It was Hillview, Villisca Axe Murder House, then Madison. And Madison was only an hour 20 from where I grew up in Grove City, Pennsylvania. So it was an easy place to get to if you needed to do something. But I just remember like falling in love with this place. But I was like, I can never afford it. This thing's got to be like $450,000.
Right.
And that night, I just was like, I'm not leaving this place without at least throwing an offer.
Right.
And trust me, it wasn't until the day.
Was it up for sale? Nope. Or okay, so you were just like, I'm just gonna throw it out there and see if anybody.
I'm gonna throw it out there and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I took the owner's son out. He didn't even show up till like 4 a.m. He was a really nice kid. His name was Tom, but he didn't show up till like 4 a.m. to collect money. And I just see him, and I was like, Tom, I need to speak to you right now. And his eyes are like wide. He blushes like he's in trouble. Like, because I guess I don't have the most inviting voice at times, I've been told, but I'm actually like golden retriever energy. And I take him outside to the front.
It's so true.
He's got to think there's some problem. He's like all like wide-eyed, and we're standing outside of the Ohio Cottage, like where the archway is out front. It's 4 a.m. It's dark. It's majestic looking outside. And I was like, what's it going to take to buy this place? Would you ever sell? And it was the longest, like it probably was like a 3-second delay, but in my head, it was like an eternity of just staring. And then finally he's like, I'll give you my dad's number. And I was like, holy shit, that's not a no. Right. Or maybe you're just being nice thinking I won't follow up and he just wants to get out of a conversation. I don't know.
Right.
But what I didn't realize was they were in the process of selling the entire nursery business, like all the property behind. You couldn't talk about, as my dad says, I have a lucky horseshoe up my ass. You couldn't have timed this better because they didn't think anyone would buy the seminary and they were eventually going to get rid of it. Oh, wow. Who the hell buys an old asylum in as is condition?
Right.
Like as is, like there was no like inspection going through it, which I learned later it needed a lot, but that helped. And it was within that, like, I think 2 weeks prior to me asking, they had already sold all the acreage for the nursery and it was just the parcel left with the seminary. So dude, if I was maybe even a month later, it would have been gone.
Wow.
So the timeline's very fragile. Yeah.
So they sold the acreage around it. Did people build around it, or?
Another nursery took it over.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we have some of the richest soil in the country up here because this used to all be lake at one time. So like the nurseries everywhere, things grow very fast up here.
Oh, wow.
So that's why it's big business. And yeah, window of opportunity. Now I'm sure I did get an offer during COVID from the nursery to buy it. And as I've said to people, like, I will never sell. Like, I know they say every person has a price, and this is why it would have been great for politics, but they probably would have gotten rid of me, if you know what I mean, because I don't like selling out. I got offered $650,000 during COVID.
Right.
I get this automated call, and they're like, "Hi, Mr. Kimmell. We know during tough times, people are struggling financially," and all this automated. And I was more amused because I knew they were going to ask. I was like, "Well, what's your offer?" Just so I can brag about it later, like this. And they were like, "We are prepared to offer $650,000 for your parcel," because whatever, that was their first offer. So these people have massive amounts of money to throw.
Right.
And I was like, thank you, not interested, but thank you for accommodating my ego of what this thing is worth.
Right.
But what they would have done is they would have mowed this down to add more like greenhouses. That's all it would have been. Right. They would not have used it. I really highly doubt that. It would have been more economically feasible because plants make money. So it was saved. And now
I love that. I love that you did that. Yeah. Like, it's just like with all the farmers that are saying no to the data centers they say no to the data centers. You know what I mean? Like
no to the data centers. Like, and people can be bought. I have friends that have said that like everyone's got a price tag. I'm really doubling down on that because I've had some wicked offers come through, and I never, and I've quoted it so many times because money can never like replace the memories that we've all done. Everybody that's, and again, it's like an immortality project. We are all going to be remembered for what we do. Every investigation counts because 100 years from now, we're all long gone, but somewhere in the archives, you'll look back and be like, dude, 100 years ago, people were ghost hunting here. Let's see what they had to say about it. And they're probably using our investigations as footnotes for their investigations. So, but again, and even the memories, all the work, the sweat, the blood that goes into this, like, trust me, I remember the nights I put in there in awkward positions, fixing things. My body's hurting. I'm like, no amount of money could take this, like the amount of effort that goes into it and the passion.
Yeah.
So
you have to have that. You have to have that. You have to care about like it's
you have to care.
You have to care about it. And like you said something very important. It's not about the ghost hunt, it's about preserving the history. And that's what I love the most about it is what you said is, and because I'm on 100% on the door with you with that. Like, it doesn't matter. I could go to any location that's allegedly haunted, and I love historic locations. The meatier the history, the better. But if I don't get anything paranormal wise, I still have become a part of that location's history. I've become a part of that location, like of putting back into it and keeping the history up. And also, I'm being able to investigate in this awesome place. Like, and I have to be thankful for that, whether I get anything or not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if I get anything or not. Like, well, of course I care if I get.
Well, no, but you're talking like a seasoned investigator, which is good because you'll get some teams that'll investigate once. I was Haunted Ohio, the Facebook page is always blowing up with people posting, and there'll always be one person. I went there one night and nothing happened. It's not haunted. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like,
it does not work like that.
It does not work. Paranormal is like fishing. It would honestly be very questionable if you had everybody be like, oh my God, most active place ever. Then I'd be like, you might want to check the walls, double check what the owner's doing. Cause maybe, you know what I mean? Like, the paranormal's hit and miss. And I do believe people's energy contribute to that. Like, I think our own energy, like if you get a team that's very lethargic, not really into it, very closed off, well, why would the ghost waste time on that? Johnny Hauser at the Vlisk Axe Murder House said something very interesting the last time we were there before it fell to that piece of shit. Was he goes, the house will speak to you if it wants to. And I'm like, damn, Johnny, you're like this paranormal Buddhist man that always has this great knowledge. Long ass beard. Yeah, dude, I love Johnny. And he said, like, you're right. I mean, they have seen so many people come through asking the same shit every night. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? Like, dude, I swear, if I'm ending up haunting Madison, probably will happen. I swear to God, do not ask my favorite color. This is for 100 years from now. The year's 2026. 100 years from now, 21, 26. Do not ask my favorite color. Do not ask me my favorite food. It's been asked a million times already. Do not ask me for a knock on a door.
I know.
It's more about understanding. Like, I always try to ask like these deep questions. Like, I don't know, because they've heard everything. And at the end of the day, and this makes it very hard to film Resident Undead because I have a different perspective being around it all the time. I'm like, really, what is the purpose of what we're doing? Are we just going in to communicate? And I think a lot of teams forget that you are not the only team that's ever filmed there. I get a lot of teams and I get that. And they're like, tonight we're going to solve this for you. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, well, don't say that shit. Like, I'm not looking for solving. Like, I'll just take to a room and be like, this is just the story. And even if you do come to me with that information, you're not the authority. You get a team that'll be like, we got this, this, and that. We can go down some rabbit hole shit because I can be like, how do we know you weren't being followed by an attachment? How do we know it wasn't a mimic saying the story we want to hear? There's no receipt to an EVP. And these are the things that trouble me with the paranormal now, because I don't know what to believe anywhere I go now. It's like, even if we get this amazing evidence and it's telling us a name of somebody, like, how do I really know that's you? And This doesn't there's someone in the comments like, it's demons. They're all demons. It's like, no, it's like we joke with our friends, right? And we're like, oh, when I die, I'm going to haunt you and I'm going to say these things, right?
Right.
Well, how do we know ghosts aren't playing with us?
Right.
Or with mimics, Shelly has walked, anyone who's come to Madison, Shelly's the main tour guide here. She'll greet you. She's freaking phenomenal. She has given more tours than anyone else at the seminary. But you got to think, every time she does a tour every day, it's the same flight plan. Maybe she talks a little bit different here and there, but these spirits are learning the script. Even the ones that have come with teams as attachments and are like, I'm going to stay here. The energy is nice. They can become mimics. I fully believe this. And they're like the actors now. They're like, oh, when they go to this room, they talk about a Sarah and they say Sarah does this. Well, I'm going to do that tonight. When the team's asking for stuff, I am Sarah. I think it feeds into the haunting. So I don't know how much of the domestic is still at these locations, such as Madison and Fairfield. But you got to think, like, if we rewind back to what you said, how you're leaving a little bit of yourself at the property.
Yeah.
You got to think, we're all contaminating the locations.
Yep.
Every night we're there. Like, you will never have a genuine paranormal investigation ever again, unless you are the first team that goes in. And let's say it was closed down. No one ever stepped foot in again, not even a trespasser or anything like that. If you were the first team after like 20 years to walk into this abandoned asylum, that possibly is the closest you'll get to a domestic haunting. Minus any attachments you have falling to you that can contaminate that night, but it's going to be your best shot. Right. Because every team that rolls in after you is contaminating the fishing hole with their own energy. And I get, this is like a can of worms, and I hate this. This is what's conflicted me with my own filming. It's like, I don't know anymore. I'm the farthest thing from an expert, because an expert would say, this is exactly what you're dealing with. And it's this. It's like, I can probably counter argue a lot of beliefs that I've even had. It's just, the game gets wild. So
yeah, no, I think that's true. There was one night we were somewhere, and I didn't know that two of the people that were there left, and maybe like 10 minutes later, I learned it was 10 minutes later. I thought I heard her say something upstairs, and I was like, "What are you talking about, Sabrina?" And they were like, "What?" They're like, "Sabrina left like 10 minutes ago," and I'm like, wow, did she just leave like like in my head, I was like, was that just an impression left? And I heard that because, like it was her. I know her voice. I you know what I mean? Like, I've known her for 15 years. Like, I know that was her. I heard it with my ears. Like, it was her. Like, no, she left like 10 minutes ago. And I'm like, holy shit, was that like a real lot, like an real time
stone tape theory. Stone tape theory of like I've said this before, is that when does a haunting begin, right? Yeah. We assume it's got to sit in the oven for like 50 to 70 years before you see it again. But it is plausible that energy plays back a lot faster than we think.
Yeah.
The example I use when people say their house is haunted, it's like, all right, we know that anger, negative energy, like a big fight, will probably stain a little harder those traumatic events. So imagine this couple is fighting in their kitchen. and it's brutal, like yelling, throwing stuff. One of them goes up and slams a cabinet in the kitchen, right? All that energy is just being stained that night. Well, a week later, one of them is sitting in the living room and they hear the kitchen cabinet slam. And the first thing they're going to say is, "Oh my God, my house is haunted." Like, I know, I hear things all the time. I'm like, well, listen, you do all these things within the house, especially if it's like, let's say it's a new build or something. Now, yes, you can argue and say that the land's haunted, things are happening, but can we rule out that you're not experiencing your own haunting? Like, that cabinet door is literally an echo of what you did. Now, even if you went in there, the door may not move or slam. It's that sound that's played off. Because how many times in a building have we heard a door slam or a door open? Sure. But when you go to look, you cannot find the evidence of any of it ever moving, but you heard the sound.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's deep. And again, this is why I don't mix well with the mainstream. And it would be very hard for me to ever have a television show because they want shit black and white for an audience. I understand. They are not pandering to the paranormal community. They don't give a shit about us because we're too smart. We'll call it. And we're like, that's not, we do this stuff. That's not how it works. These television shows that no really longer, they don't exist anymore, but they wanted to address the masses, the people you meet that are like, "Oh my God, I heard every day at 3 a.m. a woman in a white dress comes out." Like, dude, shut the fuck up. It's more, but like a show would make it easy that way.
Right.
Because like, that's what happens. No, it's much more complicated than that. But, you know, I get it. So these theories will never make the mainstream. Because there isn't enough time. You can't wrap that into a 42-minute episode and be like, everything you thought is wrong. Here's the rabbit hole. Like,
yeah.
Because
no, but they don't want that. They want it to be demonic.
Yes. Well, and that's clickbait, right?
Yeah, they want it to be demonic, and everything's evil, angry, demonic, and you know.
And that is to pander to a very religious base that watches like that guilty pleasure. Like, they would never do it. Religion's big. They'll watch it, and let's say they watch Zach every night, and they're worried, like, "Oh, Zach's playing with demons again. Be careful!" Like, it just panders someone, and it's so easy. Yeah. The translation's easy. Ooh, I'm going to a spooky place, and there's a demon here, and like, you've got a mass amount of people that are just going to watch for that, and they don't even care. Like, even understand, like, why would that demon be there? Why are demons even real? Like, there's so many things to question, but it's just so easy clickbait. Trust me, I've had a lot of influencers, and I do love all of them off camera. I won't attack any of them because I do work with them, but we've had these conversations off camera about demons, and some get it. Some have been like, "Dude, Adam, we hashtag it because it sells." Because then you'll get this thing of like, our demonic night at so-and-so. And then you watch the episode and they're all like, "Hey guys, welcome back to the channel." And then the whole night is just nothing. It's like, ooh, a door moved, you know? But I get it because there is a huge debate, and this gets into that drama of the paranormal. You get all these people that want to have television shows or whatever, make a show. And I just made some long posts today on Haunted Ohio. Someone was like, "I am looking to join a team and making the best show ever with the most real evidence." I'm like, sit down. This isn't 2009. Like, it's been done. It's been done. But what the most important advice I can give everyone, stop worrying about the paranormal. Like, just pause for a second. One thing that I have learned over 16 years is that it is more about your mission of going through and exploring and finding yourself and connecting with these places. The ghosts will happen second. I don't really come up with a battle plan anymore. I'll look a little bit at the history and be like, cool, if Mr. Smith shows up tonight, we'll talk to him. But if not, I want to explore the location. I want to ask my questions and really just leave my page there, because all we're doing is writing one giant book. Taryn, you're writing a book. I'm writing a book. Everyone's writing a book, and our books are in a larger book.
True.
But like, it's more about our adventure. That's why I call it the adventure of a lifetime. Enjoy yourself. It really take in the moment, because I don't think we realize how special it is when we do travel. There's so much. Think about the nostalgia when you first got into the paranormal.
Right.
It hit different, right? It hit different.
Oh, when I first started, everything was paranormal to me. Everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everything. Every picture I looked at, I could find a face. You know, like every noise was something. Everything was paranormal. And then now I have more questions than I did when I first started. You know what I mean? Like now,
classic.
Yeah,
classic.
And but I love it because it keeps me wanting to keep researching and investigating and trying to, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
There are some things that I've seen, heard, that I can't explain. What is it?
100.
I don't know what it is. Like
Well,
I don't.
the longer we stay in the game,
Yeah.
and I have these conversations with people, I have no filter anymore, because I'm like, I don't know what I believe anymore, because you're right. The longer we stay in this, we have so many more questions. I was with you when I first got into it. Oh my God, every noise I hear is a ghost. And the longer you stay, I'm at the point where I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on. And I rule so many things out now. Like,
Yep.
I'm so critical. Um, and that just comes with seasoned investigators. The longer we do it, the more critical we get. And it doesn't even sound fun anymore, but we're just like, no, we know there's something happening here, but we're not, it's deeper than we're understanding. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
and that's the thing. Like, like when the Peaches, when we go investigate, like we will literally for an hour try to figure out how something just happened, or what did we just hear? How can we recreate it? And you know what I mean? Like, we're doing that because, like, we're questioning, like, did we really just hear that, or did we really just see that? Did that really just happen? And
yeah,
it's like, you're
yeah,
trying, and I mean, there's been some crazy shit that's happened that we just can't explain. Now, is that because, maybe we don't know enough, to know how to try to debunk something, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I mean, there's been some stuff that we just can't explain. I mean,
yeah.
even like weird stuff, like even things that aren't necessarily ghost related, but just like strange things that happen at locations. You know what I mean? That you're like, well,
Yeah.
that was weird. We were at Hinsdale, and three cops show up, three cop cars come rolling up, and they're like, did somebody call 911? We're getting ready to leave. And we're like, no. And they said this girl's name. This girl just called and gave us an address. It brought us here. And the address was Three Bear Drive, right? Well, Hinsdale's on Hinsdale Drive. So they said we were just following the GPS and it brought us here. And we're like, no, like, and we're like, okay, are you sure? Is everybody all right? And we're like, yeah, we're all right. But it was just strange. And then when I
Yeah.
contacted the girl that we went through to stay there, I said, is there a Three Bear Drive in Hinsdale? She said, no. I told her what happened. And she goes, I've lived in Hinsdale my whole life. There's not even a Three Bear Drive in Hinsdale. Like, there's no such road.
What
And
the
why the GPS would bring them there is just so strange. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because do you know how hard it is to use GPS to get there? Like,
I know.
if we can roll that, if you've been to Hinsdale, like, okay, so now we know that's the address we need to put in to get there, because you will be lost, like,
Yeah.
trying to find Hinsdale.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, there's just
Wow.
strange things that happen, not even like necessarily paranormal, where you're just like, well, you think there's things that just leave little marks. And, how do you debunk that? Or how do you know,
I don't know.
there's,
Sometimes I think we're just in like a simulation or something.
yeah,
Like, the coincidences are so weird. It's like
yeah,
someone's trying to get our attention.
yeah.
But no,
So you have Madison, right? And you have Madison.
yes,
So how long I know you said
10
it earlier.
years.
So you
So
have,
actually, it'll be 10 years this September. Yeah, September, I think, is when I signed it back in 2016. So this is a very special year. I've been doing a whole year of appreciation. Um, it's why I argue with these locations now. And now, again, of the game, for the game, I too hate going to locations and paying astronomical prices. And what owners are going to say that? Like, there isn't some secret society of all the owners that get together. And if there is, I'm not in it. But because I talk a lot of shit about pricing, and for the size of Madison and Fairfield and the pricing I keep it at, it makes it affordable for teams. Like, out of like getting back into RU and like having to pay for some of those locations, I'm just like, ew, what are you
yeah,
doing here? Like, and plus, like, and to argue that you need it for renovations, shut the fuck up. Like, with this amount of money, and we have like, we've been booked like 50 some days straight because it's affordable. You
right,
have the money to do the renovation. So I don't understand why you're overcharging people. That's like pocket money. Or again, show people what you're doing. That's why I'm very visible online. I
right.
show what we're doing. I show repairs. Like, when Mr. Jeff Fent comes out, he's my movie star. I put,
I
like,
love
he's
that.
doing something, I'm on him, dude. And he has done so much for Madison, so much for Fairfield. The dude is a freaking saint.
I love Jeff.
He's great.
He's amazing.
He
He's just an
is.
amazing human. He really
He
is.
is.
He really is.
I've known him for longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
He was there the night I was going to purchase Madison. He was filming with us. And I even told him, he's like, Adam, you're just being silly, Adam. And I was like, no, Jeff, I'm going to ask to buy this. It's like, oh, a mob laugh, insert mob laugh. But it's one of these things where, like, even telling teams not to rush, don't worry. Like, the most painful things, let me talk real to the community, is like when you get these places that have like a very maximum cutoff, and then you have to like pack all your stuff up and they're watching you and stuff, and it just gets so awkward. I've wanted to make it so, like, I want this to be fun for people the way it was fun for me back in the Wild West of the 2010, 2011 era.
Yep.
And I think we're capturing that, like, it's still there. The magic's still there. And I know a lot of the game is being commercialized, but I want to tell everybody it's okay. Relax. I'm monitoring the situation. I know what's happening, and there is a plan to fix that. Because, like, it's now, and I knew this day would come, that it would turn very commercialized. And you get a lot of properties where they do not care about the paranormal investigator. You are cattle. You are a number. We don't give a shit. Like, pay your money. Here you are. Time's up. Get out.
Right.
I know that. I knew it was coming, and actually it didn't happen as soon as I thought it was going to, but I knew it was inevitable. Like, yeah. I've had so many people come through asking about this, but I've also had a lot of the wrong people ask me. And I know the ones when I hear them, it's just that they are like, oh my God, you're such a genius. This is such a money-making thing. And I'm like, but I love it. There's a difference.
Yeah,
like, it makes a lot of money, but I put a lot of money back into it.
Right.
You get some people that are just slumlords, dude. They just know they're benefiting off the paranormal community. And they'll let that thing rot. They'll let it rot, dude.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll go back to Madison, but I want to know, like, so at what point were you like, okay, I'm gonna do this? When Fairfield came into play, like what, like how did you get involved with that?
So Jeff Fent, he lives near Fairfield. He sent me this video. It's like, I don't know. He's driving by. He's like filming. It's like, look at this beauty. It's like in Lancaster. And I was like, well, Jeff, I'm poor.
Is it Lancaster?
He lives probably about 30 minutes out.
So the infirmary's in, like, near Lancaster?
It's in Lancaster, Ohio.
I didn't realize. Oh, Ohio.
Don't worry. Common mistake from a fellow Pennsylvanian. We don't even say it right. When I first got there, I do promos. I'm like, we're in Lancaster, Ohio. And then the lowest again, where's this guy from? Does he even know where he's at? And I'm like, first off, it doesn't, like, if you want to say it correctly, and I can say this because I've been there for a long time, 5 years now. Imagine you're a little intoxicated and you're slurring your words. That is how the development came. It's Lancaster. If you're from PA, you're like, what do you got? Like, what's wrong? You can't talk right? Like, it's Lancaster, but to them, it's Lancaster.
Right.
Much love, Lancaster.
Okay. I thought you were further. I thought they were further out.
I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, like, and then I moved to Ohio probably. Well, I've had the seminary for 10 years, but I was moving back and forth there, and then moved fully. Actually, I just got my license changed. I'm officially an Ohio resident. So, it took long enough, but okay. So the story behind Fairfield, so Jeff shows it to me. It's owned by the land bank. So I go in there now that I have Madison under my belt. Like, that's some weight. You can, like, go in there and be like, it's not like just someone going in and being like, oh, I want to buy this place. I'm not sure what to do with it. Like, I have a battle plan. I can show you that for the last 4 years, Madison Seminary has been a juggernaut of success. We're raising money for cystic fibrosis. I had this whole pamphlet put together. So I go to talk to the land bank, and they're like, okay, well, we know you're interested. We have this thing coming up in 2000. I think it was actually 2018. So it was actually 2 years after Madison. I go in there, and I'm on the itinerary. Here's the problem. And again, politics. Thank God I went for politics, because I know people get mad about this shit, but I understand politics and how it works. I'm the outside coming in, right? I'm the odd man out. At Madison, I was not embraced when I was buying it because I'm the odd guy out. Now I'm in the club because you start contributing to the community. You're paying your taxes, your revenue. The revenue of local money is huge.
Sure.
I'm in the club now. Fairfield, I go in there and I sent someone on my behalf with the proposal. There was another organization there that was there, and they heard my plan. And they literally were like, that's really clever. They wanted to buy it. And they won. They won in 2018. But so I go down there. I'd made some friends because the organization let us film an episode. It was like the losers bracket, like nice try buying it, but you can investigate too. So that sucked as an episode because I was like,
Yeah.
I was supposed to buy this.
Right.
Anyway, we do an episode. I make friends with a lot of the people that were in this. And just like politics, you got some moles, you got some loyalists, and you got some on the fence like, we want to save this building. We don't think this is the right path.
Right.
So I make some friends down there. 2019 comes around. I get a text. Hey, your name is being brought up a lot. The organization has to drop this property. They got to get rid of it. I didn't know all the details. So I slide back in. And I'm like, hey, what's going on out here? So I start talking to them and I offer them $28,000 because I'm like, you got to offer something. It's like,
Right.
You can't go nothing. Anyway, long story short, again, great on the politics. I put my dad through so much anxiety. But we get down there and they keep telling me there's another buyer. They're like, Adam, there is a guy that's giving us an astronomical amount of money, but we like you because we like your passion. And I'm like, you're stupid at business. That doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like I'm in danger and a trap here. So finally, my third meeting, the banker who was working on it would not let me go upstairs. And I'm like, I'm buying this shit, dude. Like, I want to go upstairs. And it was raining really bad that day. And I get up there and there's just rain coming down the walls. I'm like, what the shit? Oh, this must have happened yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck back to the bank, dude? This is not, I've seen a few things. I've done my construction. I'm not good at all things, but I know all things. And I was like, dude, this has been happening for a long time. This roof is like not good. Anyway, I go downstairs and there was this Canadian maintenance worker. And he's really nice to me. He was one of like the people that was like on the fence. He's like, I like you. I'm going to help you. And I'm down by the boiler by him and it's just us. I was like, yo, who's this other buyer? They keep talking about this other buyer. Who is it? And he's like, other buyer? He's like, you're the only one dumb enough to buy it. There's nobody else lined up.
Oh my God.
Son of a bitch.
Wow.
So my dad and David Wooliver were there. My dad the whole time's like telling Dave, tell him to not buy this. And Wooliver's like, I can't stop him. He's in the zone. Like, I'm getting this. Like, I'm going to do it. But I brought my dad along just to like take a look. Like, I'm going to finance. I'm going to do this. Anyway, we go to the bank right after because we're supposed to do the deal of $28,000. I get to the bank and now knowing what I know that he's full of shit and he's lying to me, I say, hey, he goes on, he's like, all right, we can take cash, all this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, actually, the deal has changed. It's going to be $1 and that's your final deal. Like, have to have a monetary trade. You will get $1 for the Fairfield County Infirmary. Now, his door was open. He starts yelling. And all the tellers are like looking down the line. You wasted our time, blah, 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 blah. We believe we're going to do the sale with you. We gave you a deal. And I like didn't tell him that I knew he was full of shit.
Right.
He's like, we bigged you. Anyway, 3 weeks later, and this is like how critically fragile the timeline is. I really thought I lost. And 3 weeks later, my son and I, he was very young at the time, Atticus, we were playing Monopoly. I remember this call because it's like, where were you when it happened? And it was Monopoly. We were just making up our own rules, having a great time. And I see the president of this organization calling me. He was actually really nice. I'm like, oh, Atticus, I got to take this call real quick, buddy. Don't move the chips because he was infamous about that. He like moved the Monopoly chips. Anyway, I take the call and I'm like, hey, what's up? And the first thing I have his line, he goes, his face, he goes, are you serious about that dollar? And of course, I mute the phone and I'm like, yes, 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 yes. And I'm like, I guess we can talk. So anyway,
that's amazing.
Got it for $1. And here's the thing though. It sounds like a Cinderella story, and it is. I don't think it'll ever happen again. But if it wasn't for the Madison Seminary generating so much financial backing, like Madison held Fairfield up because it needed, like obviously the paranormal community came together to put a new roof on there. Like the last two Paracons raised that, got a roof done. I was taking care of all the internals, all the piping. That's what people understand. When you're getting a property, I don't have time to ghost. I have done a lot of ghost hunting there, but it's like half the time I'm walking through, I'm like, this thing has to remain operational. There's so many things that can go wrong in a big building. Yeah. And if it's wrong enough, it will prevent the community from investigating. So you kind of see the balance of like, got to make sure everything's running. So, but again, I wouldn't change it for anything. This is an amazing.
One day you'll be able to just investigate. One day.
one day where I can just relax and not worry. Yeah, and it's again, and again, when we talk about the dramas of the paranormal community, I love this community. I will say this to tell everybody: there's a lot of good. I see teams on the daily. There are still a lot of good people. There are a lot of pieces of shit out there, and the reason we see them is they are very verbal on social media. The good ones are quiet. All right,
Yeah.
we outnumber them. We're not like putting our garbage out there and stuff, and that's what I need to remind people. Like, there are good people still. And unfortunately, it's just those few bad ones. Like, there's like probably 10 people that I can think of that they just cause a lot of noise online. They are very unhinged. They're out of their minds. They're self-absorbed. But you know what? We could look at the knitting club. I'm sure the knitting club has some megalomaniacs.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
All
humanity.
there. Yeah. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
We're just seeing, and that's why people say it's a bad rap. It's no, like, you finally get to see humanity for what it is. I studied another thing I was very interested in college was psychology. So people interest me a lot.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like when I'm looking at them, I'm dissecting, like, what do you want? What's the agenda? Look at these people at a core agenda, because that's how you like reverse engineer it. What do they want? Everyone wants something, and there's good agendas and bad agendas. I say this all the time, like, but everyone has an agenda.
Right.
And if you can figure out the agenda, work to solve X, work backwards. Like, their agendas, they want to be famous, they want to be all over TV, they want to be adored. Well, that's an egotistical psychopath, which could be anywhere in society. This just happens to be his little part of it, you know, right, being in the paranormal. So once you determine that, you can see like people's agenda, like what am I trying to say? Like, their stuff is all over them. It's very easy to read. Or the people in the paranormal community, they're victims all the time. Like, oh my God, I wish I'll be a better person because you all hate me. It's like, shut the fuck up. We don't like you because you're not a good person. Right. It has nothing to do with like, you got the bad end of the apple here, or whatever they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, you're just a piece of shit. Let's just cut the chase.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I first of all, I want to say I love your son's name, by the way.
Atticus. Yeah.
I like that name. Never heard that. Obviously I have a odd name, so I love odd names. So
I like your name's unique too.
Yeah, I love that. That's what I'm gonna say. And then I know this is ADHD, so you totally feel me on this, but so I used to live in Ohio I lived there for 3 years. I lived in Fremont, Ohio, if you ever heard of Fremont.
Yeah, I was just in Fremont. That's where Bill Manor's at.
So when I lived in Fremont, Ohio, I was not into the paranormal. The apartment, I lived in this big old house on High Street, and it was that place, I'll tell you, if I remember the address, I have pictures of the house and everything. I lived on the top floor where it was like an old maid's quarters. They even still had the bells on the doors, like for where they would bring it. It was awesome. And there was a couple of things that happened where I literally would get under the covers and was sweating so badly because I would watch the shows, you know, Tales from the Crypts and Sightings and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I would read the books and, you know, watch the shows, but I didn't want nothing to do with it. I didn't want to see nothing. I didn't want to hear nothing. I didn't want, like, me personally, I didn't want to have any experiences, but I was having experiences in that apartment or that house. And it still scares me. But anyways, so I did live in Fremont, Ohio for a little bit, right around the corner from Rutherford B. Hayes' house. You know, I would go there and walk around the president's house.
I think you were really close to Bill Manor. I can't remember the road we were on, but
that wasn't a thing.
Park or something.
Yeah, you can go and walk around inside.
Bill Manor is at the triangle corner of that park.
Yeah,
so you're really close. That's crazy.
And I never knew that, right? So now, like, I'm like, you know, all of a sudden, and then, you know, it's crazy. My connections with Ohio, like my first ghost hunt was at Phenomenology, and it was with Paravisions, who is a team out of Ohio. Which they were phenomenal. They were so awesome. And they actually got me going, okay, this is like something that like I want to get into. Like this is that bad. You know what I mean? And then little by little, I just got into it. I don't know why I'm talking about this right now because I'm going to stop and we're going to go back to you. And if I wanted to, let's just say me and my girls wanted to come out and investigate Madison or the infirmary, like or Fairfield or Madison. Like what do can we stay there? Like what do you charge for an investigation? Like
Well,
what's the
I'm
deal?
trying, due to code, you can't have anyone spend the night fully,
Okay.
because it's commercial. I'm going to work on that though. That's more of like the politics behind it because of
Right.
how things are coded. But Madison and Fairfield are set up very honestly in price. A weekday is $300 up to 10 people, which is flat rate. So like if you had 10 people together, it's $30 a person. If you go over the 10th person, it's just $30 per person. So that's Sunday through Thursday, which, like I said, we're booked constantly. I just had a team here before I was getting the interview set. Like a team came in. I've had a team for like, I think we've been booked for the last, I can't remember how many days, 50 some constant.
And you're right, it's
But
very reasonable.
it's very reasonable. The team was saying that because we were talking a little bit of shit. And I was like, hey, I was at places too. It's so expensive and limited time. We give the max amount of time. You get like 11 hours, but give or take. I don't tell people like to rush up. When you're packing up, you're packing up. It's fine.
Right.
There's some locations that breathe down your neck and you're like trying to grab all your stuff. You're like, oh God. But so that's a weekday. A weekend is $500. Again, flat rate up to 10 people. And that's still like arrive at 5, wrap up around 4 a.m. Like I said, if
Right.
someone's levitating at 3:59, all I ask is you film it. Like, don't worry about racing. Jesus Christ. But so Fairfield and Madison are identical pricing like that. We're in peak season now. I've noticed that a lot of people do the bookings in January. That's when there's a spike. That's when we're all like figuring out our yearly schedule, right? So it doesn't slow down. Like, for example, my first Saturday is until December. Like every weekend, actually every Friday and Saturday is booked till December for obvious reasons. It's cold as shit.
Right.
But there are some weekdays I saw opening up here. There's a calendar on our Facebook pages, Madison Seminary, Fairfield County Infirmary. The first pin post has a calendar. It is an up-to-date live calendar. So when a booking is made, it immediately fills into that. You just, double check, might have to refresh it, but that square would say reserved. If the square is empty, it's up for grabs. But yeah, it's, I think I was getting into like, the pricing and stuff. And it's very accommodating. Like when
Very
even if you
reasonable.
come a little early, it's okay. Some places like be here exactly this time.
Yeah.
Like it's cool.
Yeah.
Like we get it. We get it when you're traveling. Like we're disembobulated the whole time. We're getting somewhere and we're like racing. So we understand.
Yeah.
Um,
So and then somebody's saying don't forget about the solo people.
yes. Oh, they're probably talking about, yes, we do allow solo investigations.
Okay. Oh, you
But
mean yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Now it's still reasonable enough. Like I think what they're getting at is sometimes we've had people say like, well, if I'm just coming by myself, the price should be lower, but I'm still closing that entire day off. You know what I mean? So it's not like there's still bills to pay. And trust me, I'm a man. It's as low as I can get it to pay. Basically, when I tell people, because I'm very transparent with everything, it costs about $2,500 to operate both Madison and Fairfield with everything. That's paying for all the internet, fire security, trash removal, which Fairfield, they have me on a commercial thing that I can't get out of because of the size of the property, because I'm always trying to like save money.
Right.
But my dumpster is one of those like way too big. Like I would tell you, Taryn, if you were the neighbor, like take your trash to the infirmary because I can't fill this dumpster up. It's so big and they won't let me reduce it. But like that's the operating price. So when people are like, man, I bet I could do this. Like that's $2,500 a month that has happened. And even during the slow time. So that's where I'm banking money up because it has to get you in the wintertime. I actually reduce the pricing. So if you want to do a solo, that's the best time because a weekend becomes $300 and a weekday becomes $150.
Oh, okay.
But you may freeze. So it's cold.
Yeah.
The building's not heated.
Yeah.
But there's an economical game to it that I figured out. And trust me, it was one of these things where this may not work. And I remember in 2016, my dad helped me with Madison. I did Fairfield all by myself. he helped me with home equity because we didn't want to take a loan from the bank. But he was cool. He's like, Adam, you're signing off on this. Like, Madison technically is paid. I was paying my dad back, but my dad and I have a very interesting relationship. Like, we are completely night and day, but we work very well together. My dad likes to have a few brews, hit the links for some golf, cook some steak. He's a good old boy.
Yeah.
And then there's me, and I was like, he's always asking, like, we should do a DNA test. We should do a DNA test. I don't know whose son you are. I'm like, you're not right. You're not, yeah, we are completely. My mom and I are very similar. Like, I can tell. I came from her, but like, yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, no, with the solo people, we do allow it. Some locations are like, I understand the whole safety issue if something were to happen, you know, but there are people that I believe are pretty seasoned in this.
Yeah.
That it's okay. Like, trust me, I think that's cool. I used to solo investigate Fairfield before I opened it up.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. But like, yeah.
So that's my so take your most memorable experience with Madison and your most memorable experience from Fairfield. What would you say those two?
That's a good question because there's so much. You know, like,
I know.
People about stuff, like,
I
things
know.
come up. Like, oh,
I hate when I get that question because there is so much. I know, but
there is.
Is there one thing off the top of your head that you think about Madison that happened, and one thing about the infirmary? I keep saying that. Fairfield. I want to say Fairfield.
Oh, you can say infirmary. They get it. Yeah, Fairfield County Infirnary, Madison Seminary. So, you know, there was a point where I was thinking, is Madison as haunted as the hype? Because, you know, there are teams that come in and they're like, dude, we had a phenomenal night. Now, I work in the building all the time, and there are things I hear, like, during the day, and I'm like, what the shit? I usually think, like, crews showing up because crew come throughout the day. We're unloading stuff. They all know how to get in the building. And so they're like, yeah, it's something that's going. But the most memorable, like, off the top of my head, I mean, if you ask me another time, maybe there's something else I can think of. But this one, we had a Friday the 13th public ghost hunt. We were coming out of Sarah's room, which is around the corner on 2. And we're just coming back around to go downstairs to go back to base to have pizza. It was like a public ghost hunt. I'm talking, this kid behind me asked me a question about Sarah, but I kept looking forward. And I turned my head to listen, but I was still looking forward as we were walking. Lightning was flashing this night. You couldn't make this up. It was like incredible. Lightning's flashing. It's lighting up every floor, like real hard. Like someone's taking one of those old photographic like pictures. It's like, psh. Oh, wow. So anyway, we're walking, and son of a bitch, dude. It flashes, and at the end of the hallway, there is this perfect shadow figure, blacker than black. You see this black on me right now? This is white. Compared to how, like, it was like a black hole portal. Yeah. And it was just a half silhouette, like kind of looking around the corner at us. Yep. And then here's the crazy thing. I can play it on this. Here's a, okay. Here, okay. So you see how, like, this paper moves and it slides like this? Yeah. Think of the shape stuck the way it was, and it slid like a transition. Oh, wow. And I was like, what? It didn't do like a fluent move. It was like a cardboard cutout. Let me put it this way. If I didn't own the building and I saw that, I'd be like, dude, the owner has a projector. I don't know what that was. It was like a 2-dimensional figure trying to operate within a 3-dimensional space. And it just did like a CapCut transition slide. Wow. And I was like, holy shit. Now, the problem about being an owner and no one else seeing what happened is then it's like, oh, he thinks everything's haunted. I gasped because I was like, oh God, did anyone else see that? Or do I have to take that to the grave? Or it's just like these stories. But 2 ladies gasped next to me. Peggy Goodell, who comes out, she's incredible. She can testify to this. She's like, oh my God, it was there and then it slid away. I'm like, thank you. Because again, you know, I have to be careful what I say because I don't want to come off like, oh, he sees tons of stuff. Like, I try to make it accountable. But trust me, I've seen a lot of stuff by myself in there. Oh, yeah. That stuck out to me. Yeah. Fairfield, so I got it during COVID. It was 2019 going into 2020. 2020, I think it was March or February 2020. I was signing the paperwork. Literally, I go over there with the keys. I'm all great. And we started hearing these reports that we're going to do a state or a nationwide shutdown of stuff. And I'm like, huh? What? Like, I got to open this thing. And okay. And then it's like, no travel ban. I'm like, what is this communist shit? And of course, we didn't, disclosure now, none of us followed the rules on that shit. Like, come pull us over. Yeah. But, so anyway, I ended up staying there because I'm like, well, someone's got to watch this thing. It's just been purchased like for like a month and a half to almost 2 months, month and a half. I stayed at the infirmary to work on it. And that was when I had some crazy experiences because I was like wiring Cat 6 in the ceilings and stuff for cameras. And I remember on the ladder, I was like, man, I know some of you guys suffered from diseases. We have something commonly happening now called COVID. Maybe we can relate, because I didn't want to get pushed off a ladder because I was by myself down there. I just thinking, this is my extreme poltergeist activity shit. So anyway, there was one night I decided to do this thing. I was going to do a solo investigation, and then I was going to drive all the way back to Madison that night and investigate Madison and do a back-to-back, right, during the peak of COVID. So I start at the Fairfield County Infirmary, and I'm up on the women's floor where the jail cell's at, floor 3. And I'm setting my tripods up and stuff. And I'm like, hey, this is the thing about solo investigating. Mad props to you guys want to do solo, but it is a pain because you got to like set the cameras up yourself, doing the tripods. And I'm like casually talking to them like it's a movie. Like, hey, Ghost, pause for a second. Let me put my cameras up real quick. And if you can hold on all that shit, because at least when you have people with you, you can always be filming. But I'm like literally a little backpack, little nerd here, like screwing the camera on. And I hear shit like banging down the hallway. I'm like, God damn it. I was like, all right, hold on set. And I'm still going. Finally get the cameras going, and I start walking towards this noise. I'm like, oh, listen, I heard banging, but I didn't have it on camera. I know that's what they all say. And as I start getting to this middle peak, I don't know what the fuck it was, but it came, nothing was visible, but it was like freaking running at me. Something came around the corner, just bah, 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 bah. I jumped like a bitch, very respectful. Because I was like, I thought someone was in the building charging me. Like, I couldn't see in the dark, and I like panned my camera. I was like, oh. And yeah, nothing was there. And I remember that point, I'm like, holy shit, this place is like, this definitely got some stuff. Do
you think one's more haunted than the other?
Oh, yeah. That's interesting because I get that question time. Now, here's the thing. I think both deliver bites. Madison always felt more like home to me. Mm-hmm. Fairfield was like the stepchild. Now I have said that aloud. I'm sure they're not pleased about that. But like Madison, I actively went after. Fairfield was there. And I was like, I want that too. And it's just weird because I think I have more memories tied to Madison. Fairfield is like when I go there, it's work. I can relax at Madison because I live up here.
Yeah.
And at Fairfield, it's always an away game. But I love it. I love it. Now that's my way I look at it. When I look at the haunting, Fairfield has an ickier energy to it.
Okay.
Like it was built for the impoverished. You can tell. Where the Women's Relief Corps constructed Madison, this was for Civil War widows. They had money. The building shows. Like if you were to recreate Madison, when I was talking to this insurance agency, they were like, if you want to get full coverage, you've got to get it covered up to $26 million. I was like, why? Why did you come up to 26 mil? And it's because if Madison were to be completely razed, let's say a tornado comes through, an earthquake or whatever, to recreate the Madison Seminary would cost 26 mil in today, And I'm like, oh shit, that's terrible. But then you got Fairfield, which wouldn't be. Fairfield's valued very low. It's also 196 years old. They did a good brick structure, but a lot of it's wood. And you know what I mean? Now, again, I'm sorry. See, this is why I keep going to that fucking maintenance department. Let me get back to the ghosts. All right, that's me on tour. I'm like, man, this fucking roof, dude. Goddamn. Oh, anyway, because I'll catch myself looking at the ceiling, and they're like, "Are there crawlers here?" I'm like, "No, I'm fucking looking for leaks." But anyway, I'm the worst for a tour because I am the maintenance department. Like, I'm always on edge. Like, I am literally looking at things. What do we got to fix? But anyway, Fairfield. If I had to gauge the two, Fairfield is a little more active than Madison. Now, trust me, Madison again has had bites. I get a weirder vibe off of Fairfield where like I could walk in the dark at Madison. I feel at home, dude. I can walk on any floor. I'm not creeped out. If I walk alone at the infirmary, I get a little creeped out. I'm like, man, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm noticing in the background, do you have like a little fur baby? You have a cat? Is it a kitty?
Black as night.
Oh, he's so pretty. I love black cats. Oh my God.
He's a newfie.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not a good guard dog. He will leave you to die.
It's a dog. Oh, he's a little dog.
Oh yeah. He's a big baby though. But like, I've walked in the building with him, dude, and I'll mess with him like, what was that? And he's gone. He's gone, dude. I'm like, oh, he's playing. And he's just like, I was up in the asylum with him one time and we heard a knock or something. I was like, oh, what was that? And that's all he needed. He like bucked up and then he was gone. I was like, well, way to leave dad behind. So yeah.
Before I want to talk to you a little bit about the Resident Undead, but Kristen, I hope I can find her question. Okay. Kristen said, this is probably an inside thing between you and her, but ask him about how he learned what a hay ladder was.
Hay ladder.
Latter.
What? How do you spell it?
Latter. Hay, like Hay.
Ladder.
He doesn't remember, Chris.
No. I don't remember.
I don't know what she's gonna say. Parker City Paranormal Society says, does Kimmell remember when we were upstairs at Fairfield with Addie and we all hear the lady scream, and then a second later you see a woman right up by you? It freaked him out so bad.
Yes. We were up in the dungeon, if I remember correctly, and I literally just turned and there was this Victorian like looking woman, like her eyes were like beady like this, and she was right in front of me. I remember like jumping back like perfectly right next to me, and it was gone within the split second you saw it. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, wait, Chris just responded. She said instead of carrying shit upstairs. And then she said she meant to say ladder, like Ladder.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember. Hay ladder. This is the ADHD mind. Like,
yes, I know. I feel you.
And like a week later, I'm like, oh, hay ladder. Yeah.
So I got you, Chris. If you want to add something else, I got you. So Resident Undead. Now,
yes.
I'm a part of the paranormal community, and I'm also part of a little bit of the debunking community as well. So I know that there's been some debunkers that have covered did reaction videos to some of the Resident Undead. And what I love about it is that they love Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
They love Rebecca, but they love to debunk the videos as well at the same time. But it's almost like,
oh yeah,
it's not like a bad thing, but you know what I mean.
The nicest thing that Side-Eye said,
and Rebecca's so awesome about it.
Yes, she does a great job with it because, well, we love criticism. We're not against it. Like, I've worked with Rebecca for years on this. I understand because I didn't believe in psychic phenomena too, but like the more you see, you're like, oh, okay, this is really happening, like, but I get it from someone watching it for the first time. I'll see someone psychic on a show. I'm like rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh, I bet she does feel a male spirit here. Like I get the criticism, so I'm not against it. The nicest thing Side-Eye ever said was, I don't think they're faking it. I think they really believe in it. They're just crazy about it. They just believe. And I'm like, that's a really nice way to put it. Because when we were working with Yasko, amazing time with Yasko. He's a great dude, but he is in that demographic of more of the adventure-esque. They're in the woods. I get what he gets criticized for, right? And we did a collab with him. And of course, Side-Eye was like, because Side-Eye's going after Yaz for a while, right? Jazz for a while. Yeah. So we did a collab, and it was great because that was bringing Jazz and Chris Baird into our formula, which is a little more like it's cookie cutter. Becca does like a psychic remote view where we watch a quarantine and she just says what's happening around it. I also understand that's like one of the biggest problems I always had is how can you validate psychic phenomena and science together? So what I always hope was, I hope the EVPs line up to something, or can something happen that validates it? But that's really tough because psychic phenomena itself is very tricky, and I've met many people in the field that are gifted, but every psychic's built a little differently. So when you try to explain the phenomena, you have to understand that it's a very wide range. The brain is crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I love criticism. I do. I enjoyed it. I had someone message me the other day when Side-Eye did his newest video and was like, "Hey, I don't mean to disturb you, but Side-Eye just dropped another video with you in it." And I was like, "Oh no shit, let's go." And it was the one where we did the collab with Jazz, and he's done. Or I think that was the one. I don't remember,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
that's
mean, I love
awesome
that.
because
I
that
love that you guys are just like whatever. You know what I mean? Like you guys are like whatever. But there's a
it's
lot of people out there that would get so mad. I mean, like I remember, I did. I went on Kenny Biddle's show a really long time ago about a location that we investigated. It was supposedly we were the first ones to do it, and there was so much wrong. Like there was so much. We were supposedly the first team, and I remember going to them privately and like, look, if you're going to open this up to teams, you got to change some stuff. You can't have all these Halloween props out. You can't
oh
have
god, yeah. Oh,
you can't have like there's no like you said there's only going to be one person here. You got six people in this one room. You can hear your texting and I'm just like giving them all these tips and stuff and they blew me off. So I went on Kenny's show and it was constructive criticism. It wasn't no I never said the place was haunted or wasn't haunted. We couldn't investigate it. So how do I know? We couldn't. It was just too much contamination from so many different
yeah.
levels. And they said I attacked them. And it started
There we go.
it started a big huge war. And I'm like, they were even invited to come on and talk about it wasn't. I mean, there were talk boxes in each of the rooms and they were turned on that went to the room that they were in. So it was like, even if I thought I caught audio, how could I know for sure?
You can't. Then yeah, you can't.
Yeah. So there was so much wrong. And it started a huge 3-year long war, like because I, did this constructive criticism thing. And it was like, I wasn't attacking anybody. I was just saying
It's the egos in this game, right?
yeah.
It's someone to be like, did he own the property? Was he own it? Did he run it to run it?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't own it. They were just the team that were, you guys were the first to investigate it. So we're gonna let you in. We'll give you this deal. Blah blah blah. It was, in the winter. It was fine. I mean, some people drove 3 hours away.
Yeah,
because
for some bullshit.
But yeah, the location was in a movie. So of course, and I never saw the movies, but that kind of drew some people that wanted to come to do the investigation. But I was told that because they do a haunt during Halloween, it was going to be cleaned up. It was going to be whatever. And we get in and it was not cleaned up. I mean, it was like walking through a haunted attraction, and
hate that shit. Classic
strobe lights and I was being told while we were walking through, like, oh, and now I don't use SLS, but they're like, if you have SLS, just point it at the ceiling, and it's like, what? Like, it was crazy. It was insane, but I wasn't attacking anybody and I never said the place was haunted or wasn't haunted.
No, but I understand. But most people get triggered by that because basically, like, we're the home team. We know what we're doing. We're not going to take any advice. You know how these people act sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll say it as this. There's a lot of owners. Like, I don't like Sharon from Rolling Hills. I fucking cannot stand her and the way she runs her business, but good for her. I just want to say, Sharon, a lot of people complain about the way you run shit. I had a group here that was like, dude, she like military states it and checks our backpacks. I'm like, what the fuck? But I've heard about this for a while. It's like, to you owners, and again, I'm not in the club. There's a few owners I'm really good with. We were just at Carlo's place, Beale Manor. Carlo's one of the good ones. You got Klaus at Hinsdale. He's one of the good ones. You got everybody running Wildwood, Brooke, Zach, and Lori, and like, they're great people. So there's a lot of owners I do. It's like Star Wars. There's like Jedi and Sith out there. Disregard my red light. I'm not Sith. I just picked red. But I've learned that about places. It's like I could have a whole series called Paranormal Bartender. And I'll tell you what, dude, some of you owners need to get in line because the amount of material I have of teams coming in and talking mad shit. And again, it's always the same suspects. Yeah. It's like, I don't hear bad stuff about Beale. I don't hear bad stuff about Hinsdale. Or the worst I'd hear is, oh, we went there and it wasn't haunted. It's like, oh, shut the fuck up. Okay, yeah, all right. Because you are the determining factor. Your one investigation out of 1,000 determines if it's haunted.
Right.
Sit the fuck down. But like, but as far as that, it's always the same suspects. People need to understand, like, I treat the paranormal community like it's family. Like, this is exactly how I want it. And even criticism, like, there's teams that'll tell me, like, I mean, I'm past that now. It's 10 years. We've kind of heard everything to fix, but like something like that, you're being pretty honest. It's like, also, don't be present. Like, if you're, I hate the locations where the tour guide stays there.
Ugh.
Like, disappear. Get the fuck out of here. And I don't care about how blunt this sounds. Like,
Yeah.
I was at the Gill House and they did that shit. And the tour guide wouldn't leave. And I was like, yeah, you kind of don't want to be here because you don't, like, you just, like, don't. Like, we don't know what noise you're going to make. Like, you were talking about those contaminations.
Yeah.
Here's the things I will say to owners is to get in line with this shit really quick. These teams, including myself, I still actively investigate. We pay to be at your location. At that point, we are the ones reserving that spot. Your tour guides need to get in, get out, disappear. Do not talk to us again. Not to sound mean, but some tour guides, like, don't get, like, read the fucking room, dude. Read the room. Like, we're done with this transaction. You're awesome, dude. I'll follow you on Facebook. But, like, time's ticking for us to be here.
Right.
Let's talk later. Let's talk if
well, that's
that,
the location I was saying about. They have cameras throughout, and I remember at one point we were hearing footsteps, and we were like, okay, we're hearing footsteps. Well, later on, we find out that one of the people that was in the control room, one of the 6 people that was in the control room, oh, we were watching the cameras and saw the curtains moving, so we got up to go out and see what it was. And I'm thinking, no. Like, no, like, so obviously we were like, we literally, we had the place until 2:00 in the morning. Like, everybody was like, you know, I'm going to stay for another hour because I drove 3 hours. So, like, the last person was gone by 10 because it was like, we couldn't do it. It was too contaminated. And then all that happened. And it was just insane.
And here's the thing. I think there's a lot of teams that are afraid to speak up because they don't want to get banned. Like, I'm banned from St. Albans, allegedly. Marcel's her name that runs it. Some bullshit. She called me out. I should actually, Marcel, I did see your message because I don't get along to it, but she's like, she wrote something, I rebutted it. Or she rebutted it, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, nothing to say. I'm like, Marcel, I'll get to you. I'll make a video out of what I respond. some of these people need to be put in check. It's like, she was mad because Becca drew something in the basement and was like, we had a little girl down there for the longest time. And when Becca drew an angel and said freedom and to leave, the little girl isn't down there. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you're happy that you have a little girl trapped in your subterranean basement?
Yeah, like, wouldn't you be happy?
Oh, and that was the argument. Because I went to go book it again, and she's like, Resident Undead, I remember you. I'm like, Marcel, this was like 7 years ago, dude. Like, let it go. I'm going to buy the shit. It's what I'm going to do. Like, at this point now, for all you owners that piss me off with this crazy shit, I'm going to watch your tax sales. And if you go for tax sale, I'm going to buy your location. So I will buy St. Albans one day. One day. Pay your taxes. But, yeah, it's like some of these locations, man, it's not fun. And I think teams should call it out. I take criticism all the time. Like, we try to give the best performance, but if we're kiltering, let us know. Like, I will say some of the greatest crews at Madison and Fairfield, like, they get it. And that's just what you want to expect. I get it. When you travel, you're exhausted. You don't want any of these surprise curveballs when you get to the location. Yeah. Just make it easy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So Kristen says people came and used one to get stuff upstairs. Meanwhile, you'd been carrying it all. Maybe she's going to message you about this whole ladder thing because I don't know. She said people came and used one to get stuff upstairs. Meanwhile, you'd been carrying it all. So I don't know.
Venus carry thing, maybe. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
But I'm special, so.
Well, I'm the same. I this happens to me too. It's ADHD brain. You get ADHD blocks. You get ADHD, squirrels and this and that.
Oh, 100%.
But I don't know if this is Stephanie's asking, what is your most favorite experience from Fairfield or Madison? But I don't know if that will fall under what you already said. I don't know if that.
You know what it comes down to? It is the people is my favorite experience.
Yeah.
I think I have turned more into an introvert. I used to be super extroverted.
You are not. You are not. You are not.
I'm kind of on the team now. I just get so overwhelmed where I try to connect with everyone. It's why my inbox is always flooded. I'm bad on text because I'm constantly going. And I always want to give people all my time, but there's just never enough time. And I
Yeah.
like, I don't mean to turn this into a therapy session, but when it comes to the people, I like an hour 25 in, Kimmell just starts crying. Oh my God, I'm the victim. So, oh fuck, dude, fuck. All right, so I've learned that I just like when we do the Paracons, we run very successful Paracons. We have ISS Con 5 coming up. That's August 29th. And I'm preparing myself mentally. Like my biggest thing is to get around to everybody and talk. And the thing about it is there's some people I haven't seen for a whole year. So it's a lot of catch up. I'm trying to remember everything. And I am so exhausted with the cons because it is mental exercising to give your everything. It's like, you know who needs to be studied is Project Fear. And fuck them for being so tall, dude. Don't ever take a picture with those guys. Son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah, they're
Dakota
awesome.
and them came out, and then Dakota's like, we should all grab a picture. I'm like, no, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. Like, I don't want this to look like Take Your Kid to Work Day. This is terrible. And, yeah, dude, he's got like a foot
Especially
on me.
Tanner. Tanner's huge.
Yeah, I know. So I'm like standing in between them, and it's just like, you know, this is me looking up at the camera. So yeah, that was awesome. But like their amount of energy, they came out for one of the MadCons, like 2 MadCons back. And you know what was incredible about them? I was exhausted. I don't know how they do it. They took a whole line of people. Like whatever they do for energy, like sign me up. But I was exhausted going around. And dude, I was like, it was about time to give out raffle prizes. And I'm just like hunched over. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And Dakota and Chelsea walked by and I was like, oh, do you guys want to give out raffles? And they're like, yeah, totally. What do we do? I'm like, I'll just pull tickets. And I'm so glad because the amount of energy actually was kind of like, oh shit, I'll never be able to match this kind of energy again. But like, they're just so animated. They did the prizes and like, dude, if we had 1% of their energy, we could take over the world.
Yeah. No, they're great.
And they're just great with people. It's just, I've learned that that's the one thing about the paranormal is the mental exhaustion that, and I give kudos to Shelly. Every team that comes in, you got to remember Shelly sees hundreds of teams and man, she's so good. She'll start with something like, I'm trying to see the name on the calendar. I'm trying to remember if I remember them. Because when they come in, they assume like their game continues from the last time they saw Shelly, right? Shelly's had so much more prior to that. So they remember when they were there and you get these like, do you remember when this happened to us? I'm like, fuck, no, I don't, but I want to. But yeah, dude, it's fun. But the most special thing, getting back to that, fucking ADHD, dude. The question was most fair that it is the people. Yeah. I really like. I don't think I could have ever seen this timeline, like back in when I was in college. I've never seen this happening.
Right.
I've never, like, and it's just so funny how it all falls together. Like I feel very lucky. I feel very blessed that this happened. Also, thankfully for being crazy. Like, trust me, I'm crazy. Like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Right.
So it's like. That night at Madison, I don't know what was going to happen, but it wouldn't hurt to ask. Right. And it opened up a whole timeline. I don't know. I just remember being miserable. And this is what I tell people, like, if you want to make a show or do something, that's why like focus on you.
Yeah.
I was miserable. I never have had a job where I made more than $7.25 an hour minimum wage back home. Maybe it's gone up in Pennsylvania. I don't know. I used to work at a hotel and I would edit at night. I would do the night shift audit. Because no one's at the hotel, and I would edit Resident Undead, and it was a way to get paid to edit because no one was there. And I just remember, like, I like, there's so much for us to do out there. And I remember the night that I snapped. I was at my peak. I'm still at my peak, but I was at my premier peak of how I looked. And here I'm at this front desk of this shitty ass dead end hotel, and it's a Friday night. And I'm at the desk and I was still editing and stuff, but I look out and there's people my age having fun. I was like, son of a bitch. Like, I should be out there doing that. What are they doing right? And at the end of the day, it was like, just take the leap. Just do what you want to do. And that's when I became crazy. I was like, all right, I'm going to go harder. I'm going to follow what my dream is. What is that? And it actually was just a film. It wasn't to own the buildings. That was beyond, like, I just found out the other day that I was poor. My mom corrected me because I thought we were middle class. And now I realize I was just a cocky poor kid and not a cocky middle class kid. So that humbled me down a little bit. My mom is like, oh, Adam, we didn't have money when you were growing up. Like, what an illusion. I thought we had money.
Right?
Now looking back, I was like, oh shit, we were poor. But
Right.
and that's, damn, dude. Meanest poor kid at school. Like, I don't think he knows that his family is poor. But so but just like I never came from money, but it was like one of those things like just take the jump. What's the point if you miss, right? Like I don't know what the point of this life is, and I think it's an adventure to experience things. It's more of like a game. Life is a game. Because the biggest question is what happens when we die?
Exactly. What are we
And
doing this for? And that's what are we doing this for? Right?
what
Like,
and trust me, I don't get anxiety, but the only thing that makes me like uneasy is like I know this isn't forever.
right.
And it scares the shit out of me.
Me too.
You know, like
Me too.
my plumber died. Stu, rest in peace. I got a phone call the other day. He helps me with my fire suppression at Fairfield, and awesome dude. Him and Bruce are phenomenal guys. Bruce is my fire inspector. He called me. He's like, buddy, I got some bad news for you. And I'm like, oh shit. He's from Georgia, so that's actually like relevant
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, buddy, Stu's dead. And I was like, you know what's funny about this is like I was thinking about him because like I've got my whole group of guys that help me out there, and Stu's been with me for years. He was working in the building for the last 40 years, so he was the plug-in guy. And it's funny because about 2 weeks ago, he died a month ago, and I just found out, right?
Right.
And for like the last 2 weeks, I kept thinking about Stu. And you know what else is funny? Is his health. I kept thinking, I was like, dude, I went out to eat with him the one time I was up there, and I was like, Stu, man, for his age, he was 59, and we went out to Applebee's. I treated him out to Applebee's and was eating and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know. I was worried about his health, and he had pneumonia. I think that's what it was. I have to talk to Bruce.
Right.
And it's tough for me. It scares me when I lose people.
Yeah.
I don't do death well, and it's crazy because you're thinking a game where you deal with death all the time.
Yep.
I'm a bitch. I'll say it right now because it scares me. It saddens me. And it scared me. This like I was like, I don't know. Time's limited, so like the best advice is just go for it, dude. It's like why I don't give a fuck about calling people out. Like,
right.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, we're all going to be a footnote here soon.
Yeah.
And
So true.
and it's,
Well, I'm the same way. Like I literally have to like I take something to go to sleep at night or else I'll stay up all night thinking
oh,
about
dude,
getting scared.
yeah,
Like, what's going to happen to me? How am I going to die? Like, what's going to happen? What if there's nothing when you die? What if
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? There's all these like, what if things, like,
Yeah. Well, and even that, it's like I do believe in reincarnation, but like, I don't think it's the one for one trade off. And this, it's just like I wish I could find everybody again. That's my biggest fear. Like, if reincarnation is real, like, have we all met each other at another time? Like, you see how we're like vibing and clicking. I think like it is possible that like, why are people drawn to Madison? Why are they drawn to Fairfield? Why are they drawn to specific buildings? Did we literally land here again knowing like, oh, hey, you're going to be born at this year, but if like, because they say everything's predetermined, right?
Right.
But here's the thing that I don't think, no poofy, no guard dogging. So I don't think that, poof, poof, no, poof, poof. He's ghost. There's no one out there. But like, that worries me that like if I could reincarnate, I wish I could stay in the same bloodline. Like, why leave your bloodline? And I wish I had more kids. Like, I have Atticus, but like, there's a part of me that's like, I want 5 kids because I'm like, what if my grandma wants to come back? What if my grandpa? Like, I think, what if that's a possibility?
Mm-hmm.
Atticus said something really like creepy when he was young. I remember I was in Menor with him, and he was in the back seat, and I was just grabbing some Starbucks, and we're just randomly talking, and he was still in a car seat, so he was younger, but he was at that age where he could talk. And we would always like, I raised the jock. Like, when you look at me and you look at him, like, I'm a huge nerd, but because I'm so nerdy, I was able to raise like a massive jock. Like, it's like when I said my dad and I are different, like Atticus and I, he has to tell me what football is all about. Anyway, he's in the back, and mid conversation, he changes tone and he goes, Dad, do you know how hard it was to get back here? I was like, what? And I'm like looking back, and I'm like, what'd you just say? And then he was just staring forward, and then he goes right back into conversation, and I'm still covered in chills, dude.
Wow. That's
and I was like, because like everywhere my body just filled with chills. And I was like, what did you just say? And he didn't even answer. He just went on talking about like Thomas the Tank Engine again or something. And I was like, what the hell? Like, it was so hard to get back here. And here's the thing. Shelly's granddaughter, Freya, children say crazy things. Like, I do believe like Freya Lucy, I think the name is. Like, she'll say like she's this ghost name and it came from the building. Now Freya's here all the time in Madison, but like Freya is a little, she's maybe like 3.
Yeah.
And I was at Eloise for my birthday filming. Freya was at the building with them and just walks out of the front, runs out of the back and goes, "Oh, Adam's happy today. It's Adam's birthday." Now Freya's 3. She doesn't keep track of any of this stuff. And then Freya goes, "Oh yeah, he's having cake, pizza, and he has a gift bag, like a birthday bag," like saying all this stuff. And either Chelsea or Shelly messaged me like, "What are you doing right now?" I was like, "I was having pizza. We had some cake, and I had this birthday bag that I was using to hold clothes for the Ripple and children, dude." And I think it's like, I think with Atticus, maybe it's reincarnation too. I don't know, man, but I believe it, but I don't think it's a one-to-one trade-off. For example, you and I could have been the same person in a past life because the energy splits. You know, it's like if you go to any 7-Eleven and you find a chick working the night shift, she's probably like, "In a past life, I was Cleopatra." And it's like, well, what the hell happened to you? You're working at a 7-Eleven today. Is it possible that multiple women could think that because Cleopatra's energy has been spread over that time? You know what I mean? Because like that's the thing with past lives. It's not a one because humanity's constantly expanding, or only a few of us are conscious and a lot of us are NPCs, which I'm not surprised. I've met some people where I'm like, I don't think you're like, you might be an NPC. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I remember like when I wasn't into the paranormal, and this is when I lived in Ohio, and my then boyfriend's family lived there, and he had a little cousin, Cecilia. She was probably about 3 years old. And I remember us going over to his cousin's house. And it was her daughter. And we went over there, and she like starts talking. She goes, the creepiest thing happened last night. She's like, I woke up, I could hear Cecilia talking. And so I got up, I went into her room, and she's sitting on the edge of the bed, and she's just like talking. And she said, in the words she was using, like one of the words she used, she's like, I had to look up in the dictionary. Like didn't even know what the word was. And I walked in, and she goes, I was a little scared to walk in because of this. Like she's like, it was like so unnatural the way she was talking. And but mom balls picked in, and I walked in, and I was like, baby, like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. She says, yes, mama. And she said she was back to her, like, it was almost like she was like back to her 3-year-old little self. And she said, who are you talking to? And she's like, the old lady with the white hair.
Yeah.
And said, what old lady with the white hair? And she said, she talks to me every night and tells me things, and it just was like, and I was like, holy.
That gives me chills. I believe in that. I believe in it.
See, and I used to be like, yeah, kids have imaginary friends, but being in this field, right now, being in this field for so long, and like, yeah, sometimes they can be a little exaggeratory, and yes, they can be a little bit, but like when you hear things like that, and you and like, there's a difference between having an imaginary friend or being imaginatory, and they're like, imagining things and saying things to what they experienced and what they're going through. You know what I mean? Like, I believe to this day, even knowing everything that I know and I don't know and I've learned, I still believe that she was talking to somebody that nobody else could say.
One of the creepiest times, besides Atticus saying what he said when he was really young, we were doing this trick or treat. We do it every year for the kids at Madison and Fairfield. Tons of kids come out. We do trick or treat in the building, little checkpoints. I was back down at the base area, and this guy walks down with his daughter. It was just the dad and the daughter, and she was maybe 4 or 5, and she's hiding behind his leg, coming up to me, and then he goes, "Tell the man what you told me." I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. This is good. I know this is gonna sock me pretty hard. And she was quiet at first, like, no, honey, tell him what you told me, and maybe this will make sense to him. And I'm like, okay. And the little girl tells me that, so we block off the Civil War side for an easy flight plan. They actually come through the middle building, and they just go through the Ohio Cottage, easier steps for all the kids to go. We do not go to the Civil War side because there would be congestion up the stairs, right? It's just too narrow. So she hadn't been over there, but she said on that side of the building, is pointing at that side, that an old woman said to thank me for cleaning up all the water that used to flood down there. She said a pipe burst. And I'm like, this is a little 5-year-old telling me this. When I bought the building, the basement of the seminary was flooded on the Civil War side. There was standing water down there that I had to get cleaned out.
Right.
And no one knows that. I mean, now, but I doubt children will be watching these podcasts anytime soon. Like, I don't mention that ever because it wasn't one of those things like we want to say, like, hey, the seminary's flooded. And that was 10 years ago.
Right.
And there was a pipe that had burst. I cleaned it. My mom went down there with me. We got all the water out, ripped the carpet out. And here she's saying that. And I said, who? And she said, just the old lady over there. She's very thankful that you did it and said thank you. And I'm like,
wow.
whoa.
See that? Like, and how do you?
Whoa, it's real. It's real. Like,
how do you explain it? Yeah. I mean, it's unexplainable, and therefore that does fall definitely into the realm of paranormal.
That would be a huge belief for me. Like, there's no way. I'm telling you right now, there's no way in hell that this girl knew.
Yeah.
Again, she's 5. Think of a little girl, like little girl. Like, yeah. You didn't come up and know this. Again, it's not known. Like, here might be the only time, unless I've done another podcast since, where there's a carbon footprint of me talking about that. The kids would not have found that. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's real.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool. Like my niece, she's 14 now. I brought her on her first ghost. She's like all into it. She's 13 when I took her on her first one. Now I call her my little peach pit because what's the peaches is our team, but our kids are our peach pits. So I don't have any kids. She's the so I call her my little peach pit. But she was so good at. It was almost like she's been investigating, like the questions she asked, she wasn't afraid, she was just very open and, and she heard a disembodied voice. I heard it. She heard it. It was great. I mean, I think kids are awesome to have around when you're investigating.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like, I don't get it. That's another thing that keeps me up at night is like reincarnation, like what happens next.
Right.
But I don't know, man. That's like the questions we won't. That's what makes ghost hunting hard anymore because I'm like, I can't. I see it so differently now. Like, even when you get an EVP that says "help me," but like, what do we do? And then for someone to say "help me," that's such a like. When was the last time you said "help me" in public? You know what I mean? Like, you have to really be in distress.
And was that the full sentence? Did you get the whole thing?
It's message in a bottle theory that like. Yeah. When we get these EVPs, oh, that's so funny. We talked about this. We're talking about this because we were talking about how the paranormal is so subjective. For example, when you're doing an Estes method, are you sure that you're hearing every word correctly?
Right.
And what if you miss a word? You could be front loading that entire conversation in the wrong direction because you missed a word and the people asking questions are getting it delayed, right? Or at the wrong sequence. And even with an EVP, again, there's no receipt to an EVP. I can't tell you who's saying it. I'm like, fuck it, that's not a demon. But like, there'll be people like, well, we don't know who's saying it. Like, we don't. Or they're like, if an EVP says, I am Elizabeth, I'm like, well, that must be Elizabeth Stiles. Like, there's still no way to tell. I don't know. Or even like missing the messages. I think that's so big that you say that because how long do you let an EVP recorder run for? Wow. Like the minute you close it, you think that you got whatever that answer is. If you would have let it run however long, it would have continued giving you messages. So
EVPs are my favorite. Audio is like my favorite thing. So when we do our investigations, I have probably 5 or 6 recorders, and it's literally then I have to listen to those 5 or 6 recorders, mind you. But I don't think about that at the time. You know what I mean? Like I put them all out, and then the other girls will do bursts with their recorders, but I'll leave mine going the entire time. And thankfully I do because we capture a lot of shit that we wouldn't have gotten if we were not recording. You know what I mean? Like if we were just relying solely on those EVP bursts, those 2-minute EVP bursts, we wouldn't be getting all of the other stuff. You know what I mean? That we got.
Oh, I can see the comments now.
Oh, why couldn't you see them before?
No, I've never used Restream, but I think because I clicked on your Restream like days before, I was like, oh shit, just gonna get this notification. I was just making sure I got it right. I started getting a lot of promos for Restream.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, how fancy. It has often been speculated that children are more likely to perceive paranormal phenomena than adults. That makes me think that it's a great idea to have them around for investigations.
Yeah.
Endorsed.
Yes.
Yeah, endorsed.
Thank you. I agree. Also, I brought my dog along one time, and
Classic.
yeah, and I brought him because I didn't wanna leave him home, but I brought him, and I gotta tell you, this place I brought him to, I investigated probably 6 times prior and never had anything happen. This night, it was like, and I'm not saying it was the dog that probably, but this was the night. I mean, like, we had so much stuff happen. My dog reacted to a couple of things. I was live on Facebook at one point, and I heard, and there was a whistle, and people watching heard the whistle. Nobody whistled, and it was like everybody heard it. Like it was a disembodied whistle. Like all this kind of crazy stuff happened. I was like, I hate to put my dog in that position, but like I really think like kids and animals kind of, you know, um if there is something that, I mean, you get automatically get happy when a dog comes around. You could be in the worst mood and somebody walks in with a puppy or a dog and you're like, oh my god, hi, you just want to pet the dog, right? You just want to love the dog. So
Mhm.
I think they attract, it attracts. If there's something there, I think it could attract, you know what I mean? And um I got a little upset because he did get scared a couple times for no reason. Like he jumped at one point, like something had touched his butt, and he went running out, and he never leaves my side. And then I, had to call him, and he came running back in. But I mean, I don't want him to be afraid, you know what I mean, or anything like that. But I was like, wow, that was like one of the best nights I've ever had in this place. Was was it because of him? Was it because of, I don't even know, but you know, um, I
I
definitely
have an
think
update.
you have a what?
Uh, you know, with our ADHD brains, I couldn't let it go.
Oh,
When
sure.
Kristen was talking about that ladder, I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? What she's talking about is because I don't know shit about construction. A hay ladder, or like when we were getting the roof done at Fairfield, I didn't know there was such a device that could like load your shingles up to the roof. So I literally had the crew carry pallets of shingles up to the dungeon. Then they were going to be walked through the cupola.
I hope she's
Now,
still watching. I hope she's still watching.
I was like, ladder, ladder, but I read it back and I was like, yes, because we went up the stairs. And I was like, because I don't, even though I wear card hearts, that just means like my aura points only go up by 10, but that is my knowledge doesn't increase, right? So we get up there. I don't speak a lick of Spanish. Well, hola, buenos dias. Donde estás la biblioteca? Where's the library? I can't really get far in Mexico, but I can tell you a tone when they're angry, because I thought we were doing ourselves a favor. I was like, oh, I brought up I had the crew one day where we just carried all the shingles up in these massive like piles. Now I don't speak Spanish, but I can tell you from a tone. I was like, sitting there in my cards. I'm like, man, we're here to help you guys. Like anything you need. And then the one guy who could translate looked over at his guy, and I could hear him like, and then his tone back. I know what pissed off sounds like with any language barrier.
Right, sure.
And I'm just smiling like the whole time. And he's just like,
He's all mad.
puta, puta. I'm like, uh-oh. Bitches. All right. That's good. Let's get this done. So yeah, that was my first round. The thing about construction is you learn from the mistakes. Like we can put roofs together now, we can do drywall, but getting to that point of learning was quite a curb. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to really quick before I let you go. I know I've had you for like almost 2 hours, but this is
Holy
a
shit,
long
we did
time
well.
in the making. But
We gotta go. We gotta ramp one last thing. I don't know. I feel like we're missing something.
so
I don't know.
I wanted to just say to you, I wanted to touch on something like when you were talking about how your friend died. First of all, I'm sorry for your loss. I know you just found out.
Stu, baby.
Yeah.
Classic Stu. Yes, I love
But
Stu.
I had, and you were saying about like, death, there's death just, it hits you, right? And some of them hit different than not. And like, I had a turning point with the paranormal when my mom died. And because my mom is the one that got me into the paranormal, my mom's the one that like, she like was like a full-fledged unbeliever. I was like, keep that shit away from me. I don't want nothing to do with it. And she's like, she was like, so she's the one that kind of got me into it. And I actually found her in my house. Like she was visiting and I came home and found her. And I was like, if there's anybody that like, if there is something after this, right? And there's anybody that would come back and talk to me or say anything, maybe her.
Yeah.
And still waiting. Do you know what I'm saying? So
That
it's like,
reminds me of Houdini, because Houdini said at his funeral he would do something,
yeah, and it's like,
and it just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and you just like I think I had a visit dream with her 6 months after.
Dreams are real. Dreams are
So
real.
so that kinda gives me a solace, like, I feel like I had a I could feel her, I hugged her, you know what I mean, and this and that, like, I had a visit dream with her, but, like, I'm like, "You passed in my house, I'm here all the time, I still have your things here, I still" she was visiting, "I still have her things here, I still have her stuff here, like, come say something, like, I'm not scared, I want you to come see me, I wanna hear from you, I want some interaction, like, I wanna hear from you, you know? And so it really for a while, for a like, about like, I was, like, ready to, like, hang it up, like, it really fucked me up for a minute, like, I was like, "What am I doing?" Like, if she can't come back, then what then there isn't anything, like, or then I started getting really freaked out. So that was like a whole huge thing that I went through for a while there. You know what I mean? Like, just going through the motions, like, and then questioning, and then I mean, like, I was almost Kenny Biddle there for a moment, where I was like, yeah, no, none of this shit's real, like, and I was going to hang it up, and then I was like, you know what, let me reel it back in. Let me just reel it back in, and what if she had such a tough time on earth, like, her life from the time she was 25 on was just really, really beat the shit out of her, and I'm like, what if it's just it was so beautiful, and and my grandmother was there, her mother was there, her father was
Mhm.
there, like, and she was just like, What if she really did just move on?" Like, what if she is in that beautiful place everybody thinks exists, you know what I mean? And, like, one day maybe she will come back, but you know what I mean? Like, I had to try to walk myself through that, because I love the passion I have for the paranormal. I love the passion I have for investigating and researching and wanting to find those answers. And, I've been doing this for 15, 20 years. Like, I don't want to lose that, you know? I almost did because of that. Like, the same person that brought me into it
Mhm.
almost took me out of it, you know what I mean? And I had
Mhm.
to, like, kinda, like, reel that back in for a minute, and that's just hits you different.
It's so yeah, like I love my parents, right?
Yeah,
And greatest parents. If I could do it over again, I would pick them every single time.
yeah,
And I don't know what I will do. Um, I think in my mind they're going to live forever.
right.
But
You think that,
I, I,
right?
I say we say these things, right? And it's just like I don't know how I'm going to proceed. When it becomes really close to home. I hit these speed bumps when I lose people that are close to me. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
because then I'm wondering, it's like Stu knew, like, and I wasn't close. Stu was like, I've known him for a few years out at Fairfield, and had a lot of conversations. Like, we weren't super close, but awesome dude. And it just makes me wonder. It's like, when these people close to me die that weren't into this, am I going to see them because they know that I talk to ghosts?
right.
Um, and it's like, and I'm just saying in general to all of us, like, or what if it doesn't happen? But oh man,
It's
it's deep.
crazy. Like,
It's deep. Yeah.
I lost my dad was only 45 when he died. I was
Oh,
22. So
shit.
my dad died when he was
Sorry to hear
45.
this. Yeah.
And then my mom just she was 70, but it was like 2 years ago. So and they were both tragic shits that happened, right? And
Hmm.
um it's just it's crazy that I'm striving to find, this evidence of we all are. We're trying to find evidence of something after this life. That's basically what we're doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you sit there and you say to yourself all the time, like, why can't I? And I had to say, like, with my dad was like the first tragic loss. Like, it was like, it was crazy. And I literally had like uh, not to make this into a therapy session, but I had like 12 years of therapy after that. Like,
Yeah. I understand. I get it.
and
Yeah.
I came to realization, like, and I got into the paranormal like way after he passed, but I always said, like, I don't understand why he's not coming to me. I don't understand why he's not coming to me. And people will be like, oh, they come in, blah, blah, blah. I get a million excuses, but the only one that finally came to me, to myself, was if he were to come to me, I feel like, and he'd go away, like, there'd be no amount of time that would be good enough or long enough. And
Yeah.
it would put me back to where I was when I
Yeah.
lost him the first time. And maybe he knows that. Maybe he knows that if I
That
saw
could
him,
be.
if I
Yeah.
saw him, if he talked to me, like I had one visit dream with him as well. And that was it. 5 years after he passed, I had a visit dream with him. But if he were to come walking in this room right now and talk to me, oh my God, I would be like so overjoyed. But I feel like it would send me back to that loss because he'd be leaving again. You know what I mean? Like it would be losing him all over again. And I think he knows that, or you know what I mean?
Do you think we still got some rabbit hole left in us here? Do you think that I've heard the theory that ghosts understand like time technically could be, well, I guess where they could, what I'm trying to say is they can see the future, or possible outcomes. I've heard all this. Like when you ask spirits about the future, sometimes they know stuff. That's where people get their premonition possibly from. Where does it pull from, this consciousness? Is it possible that they do understand that, like by interacting with you could set you back?
Yeah.
And you've even said it aloud. You've said the intent aloud of how you think. Then by stepping back
Right.
could be,
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just wondering because I think of that too. Like, I hate to think that my grandma and grandpa are watching me. Because I do. Like, grandma, close your eyes. But
yeah.
grandpa,
My grandmother was such
close your eyes.
my grandmother was such a devout Catholic and this and that. Like she was
Mine too.
100% Italian. She was a
Oh,
devout.
hell yeah, dude.
So I always thought like I always just thought, you know what, she went where she always believed she was going to go, and that was that. Like, I've had some psychic mediums tell me she was around me, and I'm like, I've never felt her around me. I've never, you know what I mean? Like I've never really gotten any signs from her. I think what she believed, heaven and going to the golden gates and whatever it is, like I think that's what happened, right? Like that's probably why I don't get anything. But
well, then maybe that's it. Maybe that's what the end is. Like, I grew up Catholic too, right? So I get it. That we believe that there's a purgatory, there's a heaven and a hell. But whatever you believe, I think in the end, at the end of the day, I think we just become energy again.
Yeah.
And to some, dude, it's tough because I wish I had the answers. I don't. But it's funny when you're in an investigation, you ask them, is there a God? You usually won't get an answer. And that could be that it's just classified information. We can't divulge that.
Right.
Or you ask them, like, is there a heaven or hell? And sometimes you get a yes and sometimes you get a no. But is that from the spirit's perspective, right? Like to them, there isn't, or are they even telling us the truth to begin with? Perhaps when we ask if there's heaven, they're just saying yes to make us feel better.
Right.
Or they're saying no to tease us and be like, no, there isn't. Or that's, there's some people in life that were atheists. So when they die, maybe it becomes the end game that they thought, right? Like there's nothing here.
Right.
It worries me because my biggest thing is I've loved everybody that I've met. I love all the people, and I just would love to find them again. And that's why it's like, I know that sounds crazy, but it was almost like with the paranormal, like I knew I needed to find people, and I found some of the greatest people through all of this.
Right.
And some felt like home, a lot of them feel like home. Like I feel like I know you, but I know that I haven't.
Right.
And perhaps that's how it works, like maybe when we're in that launch pad to come back, we're like, hey, we'll find each other. This is going to be weird. We're not going to find each other for years later. But if the path lines up right now, this would get into the argument of predetermination, though.
Right.
That if you were born where you were born in Ohio or Pennsylvania? So it was Pennsylvania?
No, I was born in New Jersey, actually.
New Jersey. So like, okay, even for this now to happen and unravel in meeting everyone you did, you had to be born in New Jersey. Perhaps your parents weren't people you knew before, or they were, but that's why it had to be New Jersey to get that energy signature back.
Yeah.
It was going to be New Jersey. And knowing through predetermination, you're going to travel across to PA, to Ohio, and if our energies come close enough, now maybe it's not predetermination, but it's just that we're all going to come back and there's a high probability we'll run into each other, but we won't know until we get into a close proximity. Because when you meet someone, you're like, holy shit, I feel like I've known you forever.
Right.
Until you had that moment to encounter them. It just happened to be that chance encounter,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like,
Cleveland Indians. Go ahead.
I have a very strong connection with Gettysburg. I don't know why. I didn't even want to go to Gettysburg the first time. My mom made me go because she wanted to go watch reenactments and she wanted to go on the ghost tours. And I'm like, oh, fine. I'm like, what's in Gettysburg? I don't even like. Uh, you know?
Gettysburg, right?
Yeah. I'm
Gettysburg.
like, what's
Yeah,
Gettysburg?
too.
Now I have the coordinates tattooed on my arm. Like,
God
you know what I
damn
mean?
it,
But
Taryn.
but like when we first went there, I got out of the car and I go, holy shit. I'm like, where's
Yeah.
this place been my whole life? Like,
Right?
it was like I cried when we left. I was like, I didn't want to leave.
This could get into past lives. Like I was, you know what, in school, I was always drawn to the Revolutionary War. Like, I don't know, dude. I was a sucker for that shit. I couldn't get enough. And a little bit of World War II. I don't give a shit about World War One. Meh. Revolutionary War, World War II.
Yeah.
And this gets into like, why am I so obsessed with it? Like, why are you obsessed with Gettysburg? It's like
Right.
you needed to see that click.
Yeah.
I believe our energies are being recycled. It's very plausible that you were in Gettysburg. Like, there are a lot of things going down in Gettysburg, or you weren't at Gettysburg, but you were aware of it when you were alive then. Like
Yeah.
everybody knew
Yeah.
what was going down in Gettysburg. Like
Yeah.
it's going down. This is the final hit.
Yeah.
And but like, yeah, Revolutionary War. Like I went to Jamestown. Was it
I'm a
that
daughter
one
of
by?
the American Revolution.
No shit.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh.
I found that out. Yeah. My sixth great grandfather, they came from Germany. I landed in PA and they went to the Revolutionary War. Yeah.
There's just something, yes, so interesting about the Revolutionary War that like I'm so hypnotized by it. Like, but here's the other thing, if I can say, like we take for granted all the things we have. Do you
Yeah.
realize how pissed off you have to be to march to go fight people? Like we would be like, we're tired just packing our car up to
I
go do
know.
something.
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down to South
I
Carolina.
say that
take on
all the time. I say it
Yeah,
all the
dude.
time. I mean, could you imagine 15-year-old kids now walking
I
with
know.
no socks or shoes on? And
Well, I've seen the Amish kids, so I know it's possible. Dude, those
but
fuckers are built
walking the
different. Holy
fight
shit.
and walking the fight, and you know that you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah, dude,
now
we
that-
marched
Yeah.
200 miles for this shit. Like,
Yeah.
we're gonna be pissed off, and we are definitely gonna try to finish you off here. But like, I just thought about that because when we're learning in history, it's like, yes, and then they traveled down to Lexington and all this. I'm like, oh, because you think it's like they got to stop at a hotel. They took a nice shower.
Yeah.
They made sure they were fresh to go, getting all their stuff ready. No, dude, it sucked.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I could see people going down, or like even the Civil War cracks me up. Like you had to go down south, like you'd be so pissed off. Like I'm going down to Mississippi, and you know, like
Yeah.
damn, dude, on foot. There wasn't no car to take.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those things were just. It's so I don't know. I just feel like it just feels familiar. And even when I saw shit, what is it? What's next to Busch Gardens? It's there's like some Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh, Williamsburg. Yeah.
Is it Williamsburg?
Yeah.
There's something about the architecture that feels familiar.
Mm-hmm.
It would suck. Like I'm thinking, if I'm from this time period, like I acknowledge it sucks, but there's something that feels like home.
Yes.
Where it feels familiar. And but again, I don't know. Could it be my imagination? I used to watch a lot of things when I was growing up, you know, but I don't know. I was always drawn to that.
Like for me, I first of all hated history in high school. I hated it. Like I was just I was not a scholastic person at all. I mean, like and I hated history. Like I said, going to Gettysburg, I'm literally, I was like, fine, like grudgingly, like she had to like beg me to go. And I'm like, fine. You know, I knew nothing about the Civil War because when I tell people I love Gettysburg, they're like, "Oh, Civil War buff." I'm like, "Nope, I'm a Gettysburg buff." Like believe me, I learned about the Civil War after, but like Gettysburg is like, it's my home. That's what it's like home to me, and I literally cannot get enough of it. Like I literally go like 10 times a year. I can't get enough, and I want to move there so bad. I just need to.
Oh, it's a beautiful area. Like. And I get it. Like, it's funny about history. Like, I loved history, but certain things, like, I don't give a shit about the Egyptians. I don't care what you guys did. Even though we're starting to learn that I think a lot of our history is fabricated. Like, you know, when we were growing up, I was in first grade. It was always easy for me to line up. It was 1991. I was in first grade. And some of the videos they used to show us, like these little black, I thought quicksand was going to be a problem. I don't know. Were they still doing that shit to you?
Yes.
Like, I
Yes.
don't know what psyop this was, but I really was like, shit, the minute I leave my town, I'm going to be in a situation where I have quicksand and I need a rope.
Right.
It was definitely a psyop to scare the shit out of us. And then we get out and we're like, quicksand, what the,
Where
what?
does it exist? I never even.
And even when you were learning about history, I remember I had so many questions about Egypt. I was like, really? You had 10,000 slaves pulling all this stuff? And just even but again, I was shy as a child. If I could go back in time, I would do shit start all the time. If I could go back to first grade right now with what I know now, oh my God, dude, I'd be talking so much shit. Do you know what's under the pyramids? Do you know? You should look in the paw. Like, seriously, like, I think like we don't even have the ability to recreate this today.
Right.
I was like, Adam, we're going to give you some medicine. Nah, you see? But there's so much that is incorrect. Like, we can't build the pyramids today. Remember Ancient Aliens, like one of the greatest shows ever?
Yeah.
They brought a guy in that cuts stone, and he's like, fuck, dude, you couldn't pay me enough to do this. Like, that was at Punta Pente, sounds like one of them, Punta Kente. It's this, like, place built on a hill, like a mountain, and they have the intricate cuts inside.
So
I think what millennials will get this, like we've been kind of like preparing for this shit, but we understand that we were probably not the most advanced here. Like, it just doesn't sound too good to be true. Like, the world's been here for a long ass time. We're digging up civilizations that existed, and we're like, oh shit, what is this? Now we have the alien disclosure. Again, we're not surprised because it's almost like Hollywood was preparing us for this, that, you know, you don't just dump it on somebody. Have you heard, okay, we're hijacking this shit here real quick. I know we've been here for a hot minute.
I know.
Have you heard the argument with the P-45s and the P-52s, or was it P-47s or whatever?
No.
And the scientist is going on saying that they're us from the future. I think she got it incorrect. It's not 47,000 years. I think, I was talking to Anthony Elizer about this. He helps us film. We love this shit. I think she meant 4,700 and 5,200, because 1,000 years really isn't that far off. Like, you can get to 1,000, but Eisenhower allegedly made a deal with the aliens, and someone in politics, you know, the first thing I think, I was like, why the fuck do we got to make a deal with the aliens? Like, they have superior technology to get here. Even if I was in the Oval Office, what the hell can I say to them? They came here across time and space. And if they have the ability to travel time and space, their weapons have to be wicked. And you're coming here to make a deal with us? Why? The only thing I can think of is, it is possible they are us from the future, and something has happened. There could have been a catastrophic event, nuclear catastrophe. Allegedly, from what this scientist said, half of humanity stayed on the surface and somehow survived, like radiation, like it's like fallout and shit. And then the other half goes underground. But when you do that, you can change the physical features of a human. For example, if humanity went underground for 500-600 years, over time, you would see our eyes begin to change for low lighting. Now, assuming you didn't have the lighting, our skin would change, probably become very light. It's almost like the transformation of a gray, you know, like their eyes are bigger to take in more light.
Right.
There was something that always felt wrong about that, because Eisenhower had to have some kind of deal. Like, okay, they're coming back from the future allegedly, but what I think is happening is they needed DNA. Maybe they are trying to save their timeline, but here's the thing. Allegedly, they're actually trying to allow the future to happen. But isn't this crazy about time? Like, did it happen because you altered time? Like, why does the past matter now? Like, do we have the free will to change something that creates a new timeline where you no longer exist? But that would actually make it sound like there's one ultimate timeline, like the past, present, and future are happening. But who has the power?
Right.
What is the present? Because wouldn't their future be a present to someone else's future? Anyway, it gets fucking crazy. But I'm thinking about this because these scientists are turning up missing. I do believe there are aliens, but I think they're not what we think. And the reason we're not disclosing this information is because it could upheave humanity. Like, we are under a slave government, almost like a world government. We live in a world where we have to work to exist. We have to raise money. You know, there's some, like, I understand capitalism. I enjoy it. But at the end of the day, if we don't produce, we are not doing so well.
Right.
And so we're kind of in this system where it's possible that There is a galactic federation out there. Maybe Earth is like the Australia of the world. Like we all know that Australia was the prison island.
Right.
Perhaps humanity was sent here because we are volatile. Or there is a nuclear disaster. Our future's coming back and they need our DNA. And maybe around this time period, well, actually, pre-COVID, it would make sense to why Eisenhower was getting them before you got COVID. Because if you heard about the COVID vaccine and how, like, I shouldn't say this because I don't want them to come for me. I'm a true blood.
Okay.
With nothing in me.
Okay.
But did you know that, like, okay, fuck it, I'm O negative, which means like I can give blood to everybody, so
Right.
like it's pretty pure. But if you can't donate blood if you have the vaccine in you. Did you hear this? Like,
No.
yeah, look it up. It's very interesting.
Mm.
Where, like, because think about it, if you're trying to transfuse blood to someone, they haven't had the vaccine before, you're actually contaminating their blood, or vice versa, right? So that's interesting to me. So if the aliens were coming back and they needed DNA, they needed the cleanest DNA before shit goes awry. Now they could have went back any other time, but it's like, I'm a big Star Trek fan. You ever watch Star Trek?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Remember First Contact?
I wasn't like a hardcore, like, I wasn't
Taryn.
a hardcore watcher, but
I tested you, Taryn. You're like, hey, I draw the line. Actually, First Contact, a shitty movie, but I don't want to hurt your feelings. It's interesting because I understand time travel through Star Trek because I grew up on that. Like, Star Wars was never to time travel, or like you got movies like Back to the Future time travel where, like, okay,
Right.
Back to the Future time travel is interesting because that means it's one timeline where once you go back, you are actually affecting the future dramatically, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And yep, now Addie knows I'm about to be abducted because I'm O negative clean blood. Like, come and get me. So anyway,
It was nice knowing you.
in Star Trek First Contact, there is this civilization known as the Borg. Scared the shit out of me as a kid, right? The Borg are half cybernetic, half biologicals. When they assimilate you, let's say the Borg come to Earth. They've never had a human before. I'm the first to get assimilated. That it's a hive mentality. The minute they assimilate me, they know everything I know about humanity. But the more people they get, the more they learn. So, like, if they assimilate you, they learn everything about your view and everything. Let's say you're a physicist or a rocket scientist. Now they understand all that stuff because they assimilated you. But the Federation becomes a big threat to the Borg because the Borg come from the Delta Quadrant, we're in the Alpha Quadrant. But once the Borg knew where we were, they were coming. They couldn't fight us straight on, so they had to go back into the past and try to eliminate us before we became the Federation, right? A little nerd stuff there, which makes sense to me that, like, perhaps whatever these things are, they have pinpointed that this is the best time in humanity to figure stuff out with us. Why did they go back? You've heard about this, how Eisenhower made a deal with the aliens, right?
I have heard about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
Eisenhower.
doesn't that's a question? Like, why?
And Eisenhower has a house in Gettysburg,
Oh,
and
interesting. Hi.
yes, he has a he
Or
has,
like,
he has. I always say that when I die, that's going to be where I'm haunting. Like, that's going to be my
Gettysburg.
spot. Eisenhower's house, his farmhouse. Eisenhower's farmhouse is absolutely stunning. They have all of it. They have his cars, his golf cart. They still have animals on the farm that they still farm on there. The house is fully furnished. You get visitors every day. It's gonna be the best. Has the best sunset besides Little Round Top. So I'm like, this is where I'm going to be haunted. I always tell all my friends, I'm like, look, if I die before you guys, just come to the Eisenhower farmhouse in Gettysburg. That's where it is. And I'll talk to you guys. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I'm an Ike fan. So yeah,
well, I get it. It's the way you're drawn to it. It's very plausible. Like, I think the older we get, we forget. Like, but see, when I was growing up, like, consciousness is weird. Yeah. I don't know the day. Like, I had memories. Like, it was like we were always recording, but we're not recording. So I can remember things from my childhood, but they had to be like a little traumatic, like, or something sticks out. Like, one time I had a TV fall on me. You know, one of those 1980s TVs that were all like a brick.
Yeah,
dude. It was me messing around. I was like laying on the floor, and it was like on this, all of our parents had those like cabinets. I like pushed it, came down on me.
Oh my god.
Didn't hurt me hard enough because Atticus doesn't have to wear a bike helmet, but it was in the. It could have been bad. So, but I remember that moment because, like, I remember like my brain being like, "Whoa, this is weird." It didn't hurt me, but I remember seeing the video, like the light on my legs, and for some reason that like occurred to me. We were watching The Wonder Years,
Hmm.
and there was The Wonder Years in that. I remember like a few other things, but like, when does consciousness begin? And another thing I used to do, because I was a weirdo, is I used to think this was all a video game. And every time I would get out of the shower, I remember I was doing this in third grade and fourth grade, I would say save game. Like this is a
Oh,
simulation. I'd be like, save game.
oh wow,
Probably a weird
that's
ADHD OCD
awesome.
thing. And
No,
I would say to myself, save this checkpoint so I can come back. Then I realized that Ashton Kutcher in the movie Butterfly Effect kind of stole it, but didn't steal it, where he would come back to certain points. It was way before this was happening. I was doing this back in 1993, Ashton. And so I
well, when
guess,
you were saying that, I was thinking about Jumanji. You know what I mean? When they go in the game, and then you know what I mean, like the or the game. Well, the first Jumanji, the game came to them. The second Jumanji, they went into the game.
mm. Oh yeah, and the first one came to them. That was Robin Williams. Yeah, and the second
Yes.
one, I never watched the second one.
Oh, the second one's good.
Yeah,
It's funny. It's not the same. It's got a lot of humor in it. It's it's
yeah,
it's it's different. You got to watch the second. You got to watch the
yeah.
second one. It's pretty good.
It's just like, yeah, life, man. And sometimes I think that maybe
You're
we
getting
are in a
yelled at.
like, and I get it, like, all of my friends know how fucking crazy I am, because I'm like, I'm not sure. I really don't know what's going on, because a lot of this, yeah, I still do it, don't you? Yes, Addie, I do. The save game. So it's like checkpoints. But anyway, like, I sometimes wonder if we're in a simulation. Like, is it plausible? Like, sometimes it doesn't feel real. Like, go outside and look at the fucking like trees and grass and the bricks of a building and be like, this is it. This is weird. This universe is massive, allegedly, and
Massive.
this is what reality is. There's wind blowing on my skin. I can feel it. I'm breathing air. Like, whatever this creation is, this is it. And it sometimes just blows my mind.
Yeah.
For the record, I don't do drugs, so this is a sober thought. And
but
you're
I'm
like, what are
but
you
I'm
doing?
no, I'm with you. Like
Yeah.
I sit there and I go, whenever there's meteor showers or something happening with the
Yeah.
sky, I go out, I'll be out there for hours. And like most people, like my husband's like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, do you realize what's happening? Like there's
Yeah.
something cosmic happening. And it's like, how is this happening? So I'm with you. And
Yeah.
I'm not, and for the record, I'm not on any drugs either. But like I'm
It's
totally with you.
I don't think average people are contemplating the concept of it. Like, this is why, like, I feel like I'm out of my mind sometimes, and I like reel it back in, because I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Something like, it does. If I had to give you a conclusion of what does Adam Kimmel believe? Yes, I believe in ghosts and all this stuff, but like, sometimes I feel like we're in some kind of simulation. And maybe it's because we're in the year 2632 and it's a history class, and we're all in this, like, it's like, want to experience the 21st century, kids? Tonight, you're going to put this headset on and you're going to have an immersive experience of being in the way that we believe. Now, because here's the thing, we can't change anything. People will be like, we're going to go out there and protest this. You're in a simulation. We already know, like, for example, Donald Trump would be elected because it's already happened. We know that Joe Biden was elected. We know that Barack Obama was elected. So you're experiencing the political times of the world. None of us are really experiencing any real danger. We're still here, or it's quantum immortality, and that's a whole other freaking subject. But this could be a simulation of us just understanding a very advanced history class of, actually, man, you're really, like, you lived a full life. But in 2632 or whatever year I said, it's one night of sleeping with some kind of simulated system. Because you've ever heard of people that are in a coma for like a
12 years.
week and they feel like they had 5 years of a life and they remember all of it?
Right.
Like, it is plausible. Or why I still believe the simulation is happening. And again, I believe a lot of us are intelligent in this simulation. I have met some people that I believe they could be NPCs. Like, legitimately, they're not really there. But shit, what was I getting at was, with the simulation of Mandela effect or ghosts, what would lean into that is you were seeing a glitch in the game. Why we're hearing their voices, we're still communicating with them, is because it's like, the file is overlapping. So you're
Right.
still getting, like, yeah, there was simulation here, but like, there other things were happening for another like history level. Like, want to experience the Victorian era? Like, yeah, because the game is still playing on that. So there's echoes of that. That's why we're talking to it. But with the simulation, we wake up and man, dude, we wake up tomorrow in that world and we're like, Taryn, you're in my class. And we're like, dude, the 21st century was wild. We know everything. We didn't have to read a book. We lived it.
Yeah,
we
right.
could say, holy shit, we voted in the election. And again, it doesn't matter because our votes would have never changed the election outcome.
Right.
Because it was supposed to happen that way, even though we were like, and then it's also interesting because in the simulation, well, let's say you want to do a simulation for babies, like the Matrix kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
You could have a baby that was newly born with this tech on, let them live a full life as an infant, and you could see, given the circumstances, hey, they got involved in drugs, they became egotistical, narcissistic with the environmental setting. So you know when the baby grows up, be careful.
Right.
They already went for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't understand the technology that's coming, and that's why, like, I don't know. So, and that could explain the Mandela effect. Every time we're seeing a change, we're in a simulation. Like, for example, you like some Britney Spears, right?
I do.
What is it? Fuck, Baby Hit Me. No, Baby Hit Me One More Time.
Yeah, hit me, baby, one more time. Yeah.
Where's she in the red jumpsuit? That's
That is top. Was that toxic or was that?
No. She's on Mars. She's on Mars and she's in a red jumpsuit.
Yeah, I remember the video, and she got her hair pulled back in the ponytail.
Oops, I did it again.
No, Oops, I Did It Again was when she was a schoolgirl.
Ah, classic
Yeah,
schoolgirl. Well, anyway, what I'm getting at is in that music video, she had a mic. I remember this.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you go back, she no longer has the mic, and the thing's been uploaded 13 years ago in the music video. There's the guy from freaking Monopoly.
Oh yeah.
He had a monocle.
Yeah.
Because he was a rich prick, and we all know that they had monocles. Apparently, we all knew that growing up. He had the monocle on his face on the game, and then it wasn't there. Other Mandelas, dude. Like, well, I don't really get into the clothing because I think marketing's weird. Like, you know, Haynes had the cornucopia, and then it doesn't have the cornucopia. She did have the mic, thank you, because there's even a part in the music video where you see her move her hand around because she grabbed the mic. What I'm getting at is the players in this simulation haven't changed, but the data around us is like, what are they called? Fragmenting, or what do you got to do? A system defrag, but they're not changing it because they can't. So it's actually, I think I'm with Elon Musk on this one, that it's very unlikely we're at base reality. Well, look at how far we create virtual reality goes now, you know, with like headsets and stuff and like things you can do. Like we created that within this. I don't know. It's wild.
I'm being corrected, so I just want to make sure. Schoolgirl is Hit Me, Baby, One More Time.
Well, good thing this wasn't a Britney Spears podcast, or they would have canceled.
I would have failed miserably.
I'm not a
Britney Spears nerd.
Britney. Good old Britney, dude. It's funny, actually, you know what, talk about a nostalgic time period, like the 2000s.
Yeah, for sure.
Goddamn. My algorithm is a piece of shit because they will play these nostalgic. Here's the thing. I don't want to go back in time. Like, maybe only for a day, but I don't want to. They were like, if you could go back, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I would never replace my son. The stuff we have now, I don't want to delete this timeline. I don't even know if I want to go back because I think what made that time period so special is that we didn't know it was special.
Right.
You know, like all the nostalgia of the things we're doing, we didn't realize how good we had it.
Yeah.
Until it's over. If you go back and you know how good you have it, it may not hit the same.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. But I always say, like, I would like to go back, like I would like to time travel, not to change anything, but just to see.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, go back to see, but like,
yeah,
I don't want to stay there. I don't, because
no.
It's like we wouldn't be able to find everybody. And here's the thing about the Butterfly Effect, another amazing movie, but it's true.
It is a good movie.
Another one, Project Almanac, is actually spelled Kit Kat, Darth Vader's side. Okay, I'll get to the Luke one. I'll get to that one in a second here, but that's okay. But like, Project Almanac is another good time travel movie, but it kind of shows how you manipulate things. Like if we were to go back in time and like we have all these ideas, like Taryn, we'll go back and we'll run all this. We mess everything up by knowing what we know. The timeline will not get back to this. There's no way to make all the options right. because every small decision counts. Every little left turn we take and we run into someone, changes everything. The Mandela effect of Luke, I am your father. I have an idea why this may not be a Mandela effect. I remember him saying Luke, but here's the thing: as a cultural thing, if I run into you, Taryn, and I'm like, "I am your father," you would be like, "What is this, a Maury Povich episode? Like, what is that?" And because culturally speaking, you have to say, "Luke, I am your father." You'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude? What do you?" So I wonder about that phrase. But I also kind of remember Vader being like Luke, which is kind of dramatic because they were already fighting each other. Like, da, da, da,
Yeah.
da. Now
I,
I'm
I
gonna see
always
you,
thought I always
boy.
thought he said that. He didn't say that.
Well, even my dad had said that to me. He's like, Luke, I am your
Yeah,
father.
like I feel like that's been like, that's been like the saying, like Luke.
Well, the simulation's glitching, and there are enough Star Wars fans where I would believe, like, I
Right,
don't know if I
for
remember
sure.
that part specifically. I watched that The Empire Strikes Back so many times, but there are enough Star Wars fans. If they're like, dude, bro, it was.
He said, "No, I am your father." Oh. Well, see, now
Oh, well, that's what he's saying is if you watch it now, it's no, I am your father, which doesn't make any sense.
right,
But
right.
but here's the thing: have you heard about the Hadron Collider in
No.
France, CERN? Um, they are, look it up, and I think that these two things are related. They are smashing particles at a very high speed to try and create the Higgs boson. Um, and what's happening is that I think every time they actually make a collision of the particles, there is a problem. You're actually, I don't know if it's something to prevent the destruction of 2012. Remember, the world was supposed to end in 2012. Um, I think we prevented it, and I don't know if CERN has something to do with it, but by preventing it, we shifted a timeline. Einstein believed there's an infinite realities of Earth. And when you can kind of count from the Mandela effects that we've been shifted. So, for example, I can tell you right now, something has changed. Something feels off. I think we all feel it. That I think that every time there's a Mandela effect, or you get these new Mandela effect updates, we've shifted. And it did something because something eminent was going to happen, or that world was destroyed, but the consciousness moves on. Have you heard of quantum immortality?
No.
Okay, quantum immortality is interesting, and I remember this. It's starting to catch like attention now because now I see it in my algorithm all the time. But 10 years ago, I was talking
Now
about
it's going to
quantum
be in
immortality.
mine. Now it's going to
It's
be in
about to
mine.
be there. Quantum immortality is that we will never die. Therefore, if we experience a car wreck and man, it was brutal, and you're like, I don't know how I survived, you didn't. In one timeline, you did die. In
Right.
that timeline, but now your consciousness moves to another timeline where you're still alive and you did get into that car wreck, but you survived.
Yeah.
So your consciousness moves to the next available. For example, I thought I drowned when I was in second grade. My friend and I, and this is the first time I thought about quantum mortality, of how creepy it was, because I don't know how I survived. I
Right.
really do not know how I survived. We were in second grade and we were playing this game like Battleship, but we took this big rock and we went in the center of a lake. Like we were playing Final Destination before Final Destination was a movie. This was in 1992. And we had these big snowsuits on, like, what is it, Christmas Story? My friend Dave and I, best friend back in school, and we're throwing this rock back and forth in the air and like putting in front of us. What was the end game? I don't know, to die. So we're throwing it back and forth and we're cracking the ice. We're sliding around, having a good time. We're just being stupid dudes. And he goes to whip it up. It comes down on me. And I remember seeing the ice. It was like glass shattering. And I was like, Dave. And I like reach out. Now I got a freaking snowsuit on, dude. It's 1992. I'm a little dude. I immediately fall into the ice. There's a part of me now that's starting to realize that Adam may have died. But because think about it, how heavy that gets. Your snowsuit gets filled with water. You got boots on. And I remember like reaching my hand out to the ice and I remember going under and he slid across to grab me. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I think there's a timeline where old Kimmell went under
I
and maybe Dave died too in that timeline, but then there's a timeline where he didn't. And it's just so weird.
well,
Um,
there was one time that I just want to give a shout. Hey, Shape. Shape is listening while editing.
Namaste.
Um,
Dude, grind.
he's the best. I love him. Uh, but when I remember I was like walking to school and I was about to cross the road and I looked both ways. No cars were coming. I step off the curb. All of a sudden, I go flying backwards. Like nothing pulled me. I went flying backwards. And as I go backwards, I remember seeing car tires just basic, like almost touching my feet. Like, I don't know where this car came from. I don't know if I would have, like, first of all, I don't even know where the car came from because I looked both ways. I was always taught look both ways. Like, so I was look both ways. There was no cars coming. I took a step off the curb and all of a sudden I went backwards like this. And
Mhm.
I remember as I was falling, I could see my foot, and all of a sudden I see this car go flying by on my feet, and they beeped like they saw me at the last second. I never saw them at all, and I all I saw was the tire almost touching my feet. I was like, "Holy shit! I almost just died." Why do you see the car? Like it was in that was the craziest experience I've ever had because I can't explain it. I
I
don't know
get
how
it.
I felt, Burke. How I
That
felt.
would be that would qualify as quantum mentality because for it to be so weird, it was like you can't die. So in that timeline, you were pulled back by your own consciousness. You know,
Yeah,
that one got out
something.
of it, but the one you were originally in didn't. But that's
Crazy.
quantum immortality isn't necessarily it could go to the Mandela a little bit. Um, because obviously you had to have been shifted to another reality because in one you ceased to exist and now you're here. But I definitely, like I said, pulling to that. Like that's why I think there's something with simulation theory that just something doesn't feel right, or I don't know. Like I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Everything is weird. I mean, honestly, like, is there anything normal anymore? Is there anything
You
normal?
can't go back. I've noticed that. Like I realized that I will sound crazy if this entire mission failed. And I had to go back and clock into a job. I'm going to be that crazy coworker. But like, yo, you ever listen to Kimmel and what he says? He used to be like into the ghost world, and he thinks he had this and all this, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, I can't do it because I used to work in hotel business, and it's so funny because I like to be surrounding myself with people that are driven, and some of the most bottom feeders, no driven at all, were working at some of these hotels I were at. And I remember the day that I was like, I snapped. I'm like, dude, I gotta do something. There was this kid there. His name's Mike. Mike probably still is Mike, but he was saying like how he only wanted to work an X amount of hours so he could get benefits, and all he likes to do is sit and play video games. I'm like, what is the fucking meaning of life? Like, if you surround yourself with people that are like that, and I told Mike that I disagreed with his ways. We had many conversations on politics, couldn't be farther away from each other. But it's like, if you want to succeed in this world, you got to put yourself with people who are fucking driven, and that's important. That's the one thing I hate about the workforce. I think some people just reach the bare minimum. Like, but also it can be very draining at the same time because it's very hard to have a social life and do this. But if you enjoy it, go for it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
everything. I think the reason I keep bringing this up is I've had a lot of conversations with people that want to either create a show or do this, and they think they're going to make money off of it. It's very difficult to do that.
yeah,
YouTube does not pay a lot. What you'd have to make money off of is merch. Like if you look at Project Fear, I don't really think they're generating a lot from their videos. Like there is going to be revenue, but I think a lot of their revenue comes from merch, different things they do there. But that's for everyone. Twin Paranormal. I've hung out with those guys tons of times, and they were just like, yeah, the videos don't make a lot on YouTube that you would think. It's the merch that helps you finance this. So just remember that for people that are getting into this, you have to want it. You have to fucking want it.
yeah, for
If
sure.
I had to tell people what I've gone through, it's not glamorous. Like I would do it all over again, but future Adam would go to Adam from 2016 and be like, you're about to get your ass beat. Like, that's all I would say.
You're
I'd
about to
come out of
get
this
right to
portal.
the mud.
I would, dude. If I could only had a minute to talk to him, like, you're about to get your ass beat, motherfucker. Have a good time with that. And then, whoosh,
Saddle
throw it back
up,
in the portal.
saddle
Like,
up.
I guess we win. I guess I'm gonna go after it. But like, I don't know, future me I still look good, still have it. But he said I'm about to have my ass beat, dude. So I don't know what that means.
That's
Jeff just
awful.
seeing it laughing like a mob laugh, like, oh, that was future you. Yeah, so I was not like, what the hell would I tell myself? Like, if I could tell you how it was going, like, did it work or not? I'm like, oh yeah, motherfucker, it does. It does, but it sucks, dude.
Yeah, you have to work. You got to work. You have
Yeah.
to work. Adam, I've had you for 2.5 hours. I mean, I've been trying to get you on for years, but at least I got you, and I have you for 2.5 hours. I'm very, very blessed and grateful. Thank you so much. We talked about a
This
lot
was
of
fun.
stuff, a lot of interesting stuff, and I would have you on anytime. So anytime you want to come on, you just hit, anytime. I would love to have another conversation, rabbit hole conversation with you. I loved going down these rabbit holes, and we talked about a bunch of stuff. We talked about a lot, which I,
Flattered.
which is what I
Flattered.
wanted to. Yeah. Which is what I
Thank you for
wanted to.
having me. Thank
Oh
you.
my God, thank you so much. And where can people find you really quick? Let everybody know where they can find you and look you up and watch your videos and stuff.
So we have new Resident Undead episodes. It's just a ghost hunting show. You can find it on YouTube, Resident Undead. We just got done filming 6 new episodes. We'll be dropping them in Ghosttober. You can find Madison Seminary on Facebook, Madison Seminary. All the details. We have flashlight tours this Saturday. Fairfield County Infirmary on Facebook as well. We do flashlights over there. That's for the people that maybe are new into this. We do private investigations, public ghost hunts. More than likely, it's privates. Those are booked all the time. Very affordable. So you can find those 3 things. You can keep up with me on TikTok. It's under Adam Kimmell. Definitely check it though, because I've had people that are trying to fake accounts of me.
Oh,
The real one, I can't even say because they use my good profile pictures too. Just look at the follower account. Whichever one's the highest is me. What else? I don't use Instagram, so don't try to find me on Instagram. People are like, I noticed that. Yeah, Instagram's the worst. I just mimic that from Facebook. Anyway, I'm rambling. Those are the ways to find me. I'm not good at plugging myself. I don't know. Just type in Adam Kimmell somewhere and it'll lead you back.
awesome.
But
Awesome.
Taryn, you are amazing.
You
I
are.
love your
Thank
energy,
you.
your vibe.
Yeah, I love you too. I think you're awesome. And I just keep up what you're doing and just keep doing it. I enjoy watching your videos. I enjoy looking and everything you're doing for it, your locations and the paracons that you do. I don't know if you call them paracons, but the cons that you do, the conventions and stuff. Like I love. One day, hopefully, I'll get out there. One day, hopefully, I'll get out to one of your
Here's
locations.
the thing. I until recently haven't gone to other Paracons. I just kind of run it like a frat party. So it's a good time.
Yeah.
It's more of like a family reunion. Where was I recently? I did a Paracon. I've never been to Penhurst's Paracon. I've been to Mansfield.
Okay.
And dude, they're very organized. But it's also a different beast.
Yeah.
But definitely do a lot of things. And if you love a good amount of shit talking, come follow.
Yeah.
I definitely do a lot of shit talk. The real talk. It's real talk because there's people that need to be shit talked
That's true.
for what they
That's
are.
true. That's true.
But
So yeah, hopefully one day I'll get out to one of your locations and me and the Peaches will get out there and investigate one of the places. But this was a great show. So I appreciate you sticking around with me for so long and talking about everything. We literally talked about everything.
everything. I told you we were planning this. Like, let's hit the ground running. Let's just do it. Just
Yeah.
anything that happens.
Whatever happens, happens.
It happens. Just let it go. Just let it happen. So,
Um,
awesome. Thank you, Taryn.
Thank you so much. You have a good night. Thank you for joining me and all of us. Thanks everybody for sticking in and commenting and being here, and love you guys.
Absolutely, guys. We'll see you.
Good night. Adios until next time. Have sweet dreams.